Welcome in, Burro fans, to Burro Broadcast Network in the Week 5 stream of the Hillsboro Burros taking on the Kenwood Knights. I am your host, Drew. I'm joined by Ben Clay, and it is a home game here in John Cohen Stadium for some Week 5 action. The 3-1 Burros take on the 0-4 Kenwood Knights in a non-region matchup, non-district matchup, but a very big game to put Hillsboro at 4-1 as they look to move into region play. Mr. Clay.
Absolutely. This game, Kenwood, they need a win bad. They are 0-4 and coming off a rough loss to West Creek. They need a win bad. They need to step up here. This Hillsboro team, they are coming off a win. They are ready to play. And this weather, man, the weather is absolutely perfect football weather. We've got 76 degrees, partly cloudy, no sunshine in sight, which I'm okay with. And then some 5-degree winds blowing to the south end of the field. It is great football weather. And we're going to see some good football here today, hopefully.
Yes, sir. It is homecoming tonight for the Hillsboro Burros football team. Unfortunately, for the Hillsboro High School students, the dance was moved to early November, but it is homecoming night and an 0-4, which should be an easy victory at home for Hillsboro tonight. As you said, Mr. Clay, Kenwood, tough loss last week, 28-7 against our Clarksville rival, West Creek. As for Hillsboro, they marched down to Antioch and beat the MNPS rival, Cane Ridge Ravens, 27-7. So as I said, Hillsboro heading into this game at 3-1. Kenwood heading into this game 0-4 for Hillsboro. They've got the green jerseys, yellow pants, green numbers, green helmets with 3 yellow stripes down the middle. Just like always, the home uniforms for you loyal Burro fans. As for Kenwood, the away team, they've got some gold helmets, white jerseys, black pants, black numbers, and the away uniforms for the visiting Knights. It looks like Hillsboro will be the first to receive. Kenwood will kick it off. And more than likely, Hillsboro move left to right on the field to start the game as we've only got 30 seconds to kick off.
Absolutely. This game for Hillsboro, it's going to be one that they just have to maintain possession and run the ball well, I feel like. The 3 running back head and Eric Cleaves, Marcel Burnett, and Giovanni Bernard are going to be Giovanni Bernard, and Giovanni Reams are going to be a major part to this Burro offense. Trotter, get some runs in, get some passing plays in, and Burro should come out of here with a good win.
Yes, sir. Indeed, they should. Number 6, Giovanni Reams. Number 12, Javarian Bradford back to return for your Hillsboro Burros. Kenwood Knights will kick right to left on your radio dial. Burros, in that case, will move left to right on your radio dial. We got 12 minutes on the clock. We are ready to go here in John Cohen Stadium. 76 degrees, has been said. Very cool, very crisp fall evening here in Week 5 of the high school football season. And on to kick are the Kenwood Knights. Kicking is Jerome Asbury. The sophomore kicker also plays receiver and DB. He's going to run up and he's going to boot it away. And it's a short pooch kick to the far side of the field. It's going to be grabbed by Sorrell Burton. Sorrell Burton's going to cut up the middle of the field. And Sorrell Burton, well past the 40-yard line, up near the 42-yard line of Hillsboro. He receives it around the 30 and a 12-yard return for the junior. Starts us off right.
Great return on a light little pooch kick there. Took it about 20 yards upfield. He just didn't slow down. This Burrows offense starting off the day with some great field position.
Indeed, they are. It'll be Deshaun Trotter out of the field first, one of the 2 dual-threat quarterbacks we'll see in today's game. Trotter had a very successful outing last week, bounced back from 2 weeks ago here at home against the Stewarts Creek Falcons where he threw 2 interceptions. It's going to be a split backfield set. Trotter out of the gun. He's got a man wide to the left, 2 men, and a stack to the right. It's going to be a play action. Trotter's going to throw. Trotter's got his man Josh Cartmel. Cartmel's going to stiff arm at the 45. Cartmel's inside the 50, inside Kenwood territory. He's cut down by number 16, Dasmian Brown. The junior cornerback cuts him down by the legs. And Joshua Cartmel, a very favorited receiver by the senior QB, Deshaun Trotter, gets his first catch of the game.
Great stiff arm. The junior, they really are trying to get him in that open space and see what he can do with the ball. He's got speed. He's got some agility. So that's the plays they need to write up for him.
A smaller team from Kenwood. They head into this game 0-4, as I said. It's a 4-3 look from them. They got 4 down linemen. We got an H-back. Hillsboro does in the backfield. It's Kyle Hicks. He's going to motion across the formation to the near sideline. Trotter out of the gun. Here's the handoff. They hand it off to Giovanni Reams, the senior. He's going to be cut down. A helmet is off. There's a big pile, and it's pushing inside the Kenwood 45-yard line. The helmet came off of the middle linebacker, Frederick Ellis, the 5'9", 193 senior. So he'll have to come off the field for a play. On the field for him is going to be number 42, A.J. Krantz. He's going to check in at middle linebacker, and that 4-3 look's going to stay strong for Kenwood. They're going to mark the ball around the 43-yard line.
Like I said, that run game is going to get going, and I think Burros will start it early here. Got about a second, and I would say give him 6. Burros are definitely trying to make it third and short here.
They got 3 men wide to the left. Kyle Hicks is flexed out wide in the slot. Josh Cartmel, the lone receiver on the near sideline to the right of Trotter. Out of the gun, he's got Reams to his right. He's going to fumble the snap. The ball is on the ground, and Trotter's going to have to dive on it back at the 50-yard line. So Deshaun Trotter had some trouble with the snap. The ball's going to be marked right at the 50. And so now it's going to be a third down and pretty long ways to go. They're going to mark it at the 50. The line to gain is around the Kenwood 37-yard line. If you're just now joining us, it's the Hillsboro Burros and Kenwood Knights in some Week 5 action here from John Cohen Stadium. 0-0 score, 10:24 and ticking to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's obviously not what the Burros wanted, but we're gonna see Deshaun's passing game here. He's gonna start off the day passing. We're gonna see what he can do.
3rd and 14. Trotter's 1 for 1 through the air already. He's got a man to his left, 3 men wide. Fakes the handoff. Trotter's gonna roll. It's gonna be a rocket screen to Kike Baker. Almost intercepted, but it's dropped. It's Malcolm Calhoun, the man who got a hand on it. It was incomplete, and a bullet dodge from the Hillsboro offense there, and the punt team and number 80, the senior, Drew Thornton, trotting onto the field.
Yeah, Trotter threw it a bit over Kike Baker's hands, though. They had the screen set up, just tipped off at the tip of his fingertips, and it dumbled around there for a minute.
A tunnel screen from the far sideline to the middle of the field just didn't work out. So Hillsboro is going to be right at the 50. The lone man back to return for Kenwood is Cameron Dowell, the junior. Plays wide receiver for the Knights as well. We'll see if Thornton can pin him deep. He had a very successful outing and a rough offensive outing against Stewart's Creek. Here's the punt. The lefty boots it. A very good kick. Left to right, end over end. Kyle Hicks down there on the tackle. And a big block from Kenwood. There's a flag down on the play. Cameron Dowell is going to get up to about the 12-yard line. Kyle Hicks was going for the tackle alongside another Burro, and it's going to be a blindside block against the Knights. A ref was knocked down. Complete chaos on the far end of the field. But in the end, Kenwood's going to be knocked down a few more yards than they more like.
And, if Dowell, I would really rather him just let that ball go into the end zone. You get the ball at the 20, and you're really moving there. I know he's trying to create something, but there's a lot of risk to that one.
It was a very good punt from Drew Thornton.
Flag is on
The blindside block went against Kenwood, and the ball is going to be marked deep inside Hillsboro territory as they move right to left. Student section ranked number 15 in the Tennessee rankings this week. They're a blackout at home against Kenwood tonight. Very good atmosphere here at home at John Cohen Stadium. Capacity estimated to be around 1,000 people tonight. Out of the gun, Jacoby Cox, the second dual threat quarterback, 6'6", 210 pounds. An interesting formation here. He's got 2 men in the backfield with him, and they're stacked to his left. 2 men out wide on either side of the field. Here's Cox. He's going to pitch it to the right side. And that's going to be blown up immediately. That goes absolutely nowhere. It was Marcel Burnett on the big hit. Out of the backfield, number 21, Malcolm Calhoun. Almost had a big defensive play, with that interception. Gets blown up in the backfield for a loss of 1, 2nd and 11.
Yeah, they tried to get something going to that weak short side of the field. Hillsboro was ready for it. They blew it up. Great play by the linebacker in the corners there.
Out of the gun. Ball's marked just inside the Kenwood 5-yard line. I formation, and there's flags down. Jacoby Cox took the snap, handed it off to Calhoun once again, and there's flags down. It's going to be a false start against the Kenwood Knights, and that's going to be a detrimental penalty as they're going to be backed up near their own goal line. Ears pinned back, and they're going to mark it on the goal line, it looks like.
Now, you can't go much further back than the 2, so place them about the 1.
The ball's marked just inches outside the Kenwood goal line. They're backed up on the far right side of the field. They try and move left, try to get out of this 2nd down and 12 situation. It's going to be another shotgun look this time from Cox. Cox is going to throw it out wide to the right. He's got a man. It's going to be complete across the middle, and he's going to be hit. And there seems to be a pile around the 10-yard line. It's going to be very close to the sticks. A nice throw across the middle from Jacoby Cox. He had a man on a slant route to the far side of the field. and he definitely gets a big chunk out of that second down to make it about 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, great play, great agility in the open field by Frederick Ellis there. Broke the first tackle and then kept on going, making it a manageable 3rd down here.
3rd down, 1 yard to go. This will play to the advantages of that I formation look from Kenwood. But they're going to take it out of the gun. He's got an H-back and a running back to his left. He's going to hand it off on a jet sweep, a motion man. It's number 8, Josiah Brown. He's going to be wrapped up and dropped. Sam Leonard in on the stop. And the senior middle linebacker looks like they're going to move the chains for Kenwood anyways. It'll be 1st down and 10 for the visiting Knights.
Yeah, it was a great play by the Burros. Just couldn't hold them for that 1 yard. And Kenwood trying to get some going here. They've got the ground game involved. They're passing some screen plays. We're seeing some small ball here, but it seems to be kind of moving.
It was a 5'10", 186 receiver, Josiah Brown, who came from the far side of the field to the near side of the field, got the jet sweep, and was able to get just enough yards, 2 yards, to pick up that 1st down, and a timeout is down on the field with 8:07 remaining. So Hillsboro was forced to punt. They pinned Kenwood back. Kenwood so far picked up a 1st down. And as they take a timeout, we'll take a timeout. You're listening to the Burrow Broadcast Network. Burros, Knights, tied up at 0. The action is back. It'll be Kenwood taking over at their own 14-yard line. They move right to left. If you're just now joining us, the Kenwood Knights have taken a trip down from Clarksville down here to Nashville and John Cohen Stadium to take on the 3-1 Hillsboro Burros. Right now, we got the game knotted up at 0, only 4 minutes in. 8:07 to go in the first quarter. Kenwood on offense after a Hillsboro punt last drive. A very good punt from Drew Thornton, I will say. And now Kenwood will take it 1st and 10 from their own 14. We've seen a couple I formation looks, a couple shotgun looks. They've ran a pretty basic offensive, nothing crazy, pretty basic offensive set. What have you seen that's kind of mixed the Burros up the most on defense so far?
Yeah, it's definitely the screen plays, getting the guys open out wide and making forcing the Burros to make those one-on-one tackles has worked out for this Kenwood team. It's how they got the 3rd and short, and they're definitely gonna keep on implementing that.
It was a brilliant play call from Kenwood on a 2nd down and long. Hillsboro defense hasn't seen this team pass so far in this game, and although I'm sure they saw enough film, they were able to shorten the 3rd down, make it 3rd and 1, and like you said, force Dom Leonard to make an open field tackle. It just wasn't in time. So action set to resume. The 6'6 QB for Kenwood in a white jersey and black pants is going to take it out of the gun from his own 14. Knights move right to left. They got 1 man wide on either side of the field. Seems to be a stoppage from the refs down on the field, though. It's taken forever to get this game back going.
A slight jog going on there.
They're going to set the back judge up. The referee just waiting to blow his whistle at the line.
Not sure what they're doing here. Talking it over, they spotted at about the 14-yard line for Kenwood here.
It'll be 1st and 10 out of the eye. Jacoby Cox takes it. He's got 2 men in the backfield, 1 man either side. It's going to be a pitch to the right. They got a couple blockers out there. It's number 21, Malcolm Calhoun. He's wrapped up and dropped immediately. Nice tackle on the play from Hillsboro, and it's going to be 2nd down and somewhat long. Another pitch play, another I formation look, and another open field tackle forced for this Hillsboro defense, Ben.
Yeah, the Kenwood, they're trying to make it, they're trying to get these outside runs going. They're trying to force them to the edge of the field here. It has slightly worked. Maybe they run somewhere up the middle. It's interesting in an I form offense. You're pitching power. You're still pitching the ball, but we'll see what they can do.
They got 3 men wide. 1 man lined up as the H-back. It'll be Cox under center. Cox is going to pitch it again, this time to the near side of the field. He's going to be hit.
Goodness.
Hey, hit Kike Baker. Lays the hammer on number 3, Frederick Ellis. But there was a flag down on the play. This is oh, man. If this comes back, that's going to be a shame.
That is the definition of running through a man. I mean, he went right through him. There was
Holding
no
against the offense. Holding against the offense. There we go. A very clean hit from Kike Baker. shed off the H-back's block right there and just ran right through him, as you said, Ben. So they're going to move Kenwood back on the holding play. The H-back tried to get out there and hold a couple linebackers. Kike Baker saw right through it, blasted the man in the backfield. So for Frederick Ellis, takes a big hit and moves backward. So they're going to mark it back what looks to be 10 yards. That's going to be a detrimental penalty inside the 5. They're going to mark it at the 9. They're going to give him a 5-yard penalty on the hold. So right as Kenwood was trying to dig out of this ditch that they were in, they've now got a 2nd down and long from their own 9.
Yeah, the Burros, it's been a quite long drive for this Kenwood team, and they've moved. They might be at the same spot they started this drive as this play. So it's been an interesting drive. They've been running off some clock, seeing if they can get another first here.
2nd and 15 from the 9.
2 men wide on either side of the field. Jacoby Cox out of the I form once again. This time it's going to be a handoff right up the middle. And no, Jacoby Cox is going to keep it. He's got it on the far sideline. He's going to let this fly, and he's got a man. It's complete across the 40, across the 45. And the big man, number 42, A.J. Krantz, who we saw on the defensive side of the ball, this time at tight end, sneaks right up the seam and eventually gets taken down at the Kenwood 44. But a big gain of 30-plus yards to set up Kenwood for a 1st down and 10. And now we got a Burrow down on the field. I can't tell who it is, but the sophomore Jaden York has now checked into the game for Hillsboro. And yeah, it is Glenn Robinson, the big number 89, down on the field, the end. I'm not sure how he got hurt, Ben, but he is laying down. We got a trainer, 2 trainers, and Coach Anthony Brown checking on him. And both teams now will huddle up as Kenwood now will have a 1st down after a huge play and a great play up the seam from A.J. Krantz right there in Kenwood.
Yeah, it was an interesting play called play action. Fooled Drew over here.
Yeah,
he called the run, but great job. Krantz just snuck up the seam, and there was so much room to work with. Had to sneak it over. Cox had to sneak it over a Hillsboro defender, and then there was plenty of open room. Got the ball up to about the 44.
Yeah, one of the best things you can do on the defensive side of the ball is make a man choose. And in that situation, the play action fade, Kike Baker came down from a safety spot, and he had to choose whether he was going to go try and sack the quarterback or he was going to drop back in coverage and let a dynamic Jacoby Cox take off. And he started coming after Cox. Cox dropped it right over his head about the 20. And A.J. Krantz just ran his way for 24 more yards and a 1st down and 10 for Kenwood. So if you can't tell by the student section's reaction, number 89, Glenn Robinson is up and at him. He's walking off the field. He's got a slight limp on that his left foot. And hopefully he's going to be all right because he's a big piece of this Hillsboro defense.
Absolutely. They have a huge D-line, and he is part of that. They've been great at stopping the run this year, aside from Stewart's Creek last week. But they're hoping to keep it up against Kenwood offense that will run the ball very often.
Yeah, they are going to run the ball very often. And you bring up a point. Kenneth Jordan, Caleb Floyd in that Stewart's Creek offense last week, they ended up suffering a 2-possession loss, and it was due to that run game and the inability to stop the run for Hillsboro last week. So in this drive, looks like Kenwood's been able to do just about whatever they want, aside from the penalties that they've committed on themselves. So from their own 44, they got it. Moving right to left. We got 6:43 to go in the 1st. Man in motion. It's going to be a pitch. It's number 21, Malcolm Calhoun. No, sir. No, sir. Marcel Burnett, 6 foot, 230 pounds on the tackle. Back around the Kenwood 38-yard line. And they tried to pitch again. That one was snuffed out.
Yeah, that is not a guy you want running right at you. Marcel Burnett, great tackle in the open field. Calhoun was going nowhere with that one. Great play by the Burros to once again make it a 2nd and long. Hopefully they can stop Kenwood here.
So 2nd down, very long way to go. It looks about like 17 yards. Make it 18. Under center, he's got a man join him in the backfield. It's number 3, Frederick Ellis. He's got a couple wide. He sends a man in motion. This one's going to be hands off to Frederick Ellis, and it goes nowhere. Marcel Burnett, back-to-back TFLs for this Hillsboro defense, and a Greg Abner called blitz works out for Hillsboro.
Yeah, they tried to call the counter play to that H-back, Frederick Ellis, and there was just nothing going. The Burros snuck that one out. Burnett came right up the middle, and there was nothing going with that play right there.
No, there was not. So it's going to be 3rd down, 20 yards to go, 5.5 minutes to go in the 1st quarter. We're still knotted up at 0 in what's been a very physical, old-school battle of football so far. Kenwood looking to get their first win of the season. They started out 0-4. Hillsboro looking to get to 4-1 before heading in to region play. Out of the gun. Jacoby Cox has got it, a man to his left, 2 men wide. He's got an H-back as well. Out of the gun, whistles down, and a flag. It's going to be a pre-snap penalty on one of the two teams delay a game. So it's going to be a delay a game called against Jacoby Cox. Good catch by the referees down on the field. Play will be stopped with 5:06 to go in 3rd and 25, Ben. Team just keeps shooting themselves in the foot.
Right, but they've been able to make up for it recently, this drive. So we're going to see if they can do it again. They've been able to work into those manageable situations. Burros trying to stop it here.
Out of the gun, he's got a 3rd and 25. You expect a pass, and they do. It's going to be play action fake. Oh, almost intercepted. A great pressure by number 32, Braden Hightower. Sophomore only gets in there a couple plays a game, and he made his presence felt on that one.
Yeah, Glenn Robinson back on the field for the Burros here. I would expect a pass definitely from this team. Burros could definitely use a stop here, get off this field in this long drive.
More than likely, they're going to punt here on 4th down and 25. And with 5 minutes left, they're going to send their punter, number 3, Frederick Ellis, on the field. He can do just about anything. Linebacker, running back, punter,
for everything.
And somebody jumped. It looked like a false start to me. And it's going to be called offside. So number 72, senior Dwayne Washington, the encroachment on the punt. And instead of a 4th down and 25, it's going to be a 4th down and 20. Although they are going to still keep the punt team on the field. They're kicking it right to left. Back to return is the sophomore Javarian Bradford. The snap, the punt, not bad right to left. Bradford's going to let it bounce, and he's just going to let it bounce. Pretty good punt. It's going to be marked down at the Hillsboro 38-yard line. So the ball's marked at the Hillsboro 38. Deshaun Trotter and this offense will march out onto the field. We'll take a short break before the action returns. Hillsboro 0, Kenwood 0, 4:52 to go in the first. So as I said, Hillsboro offense onto the field. A 4-3 look continued by this Kenwood defense. If you're just now joining us, Hillsboro wearing the home green on yellows, moving left to right on your radio dial. It's going to be a quarterback power from Deshaun Trotter. That's going to be wrapped up. A nice hit, a credit to tackle to number 8, Josiah Brown, and number 3, Frederick Ellis. A tag team tackle on that one. Frederick Ellis punted the ball and then gets on the field at middle linebacker and is able to make a tackle on the Hillsboro quarterback. So it'll be 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Ball at their own 39-yard line, 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter.
Anything could happen here. Burros need some momentum. They could use a big play.
Hillsboro is yet to have a game where they did not score in the first quarter, and they're looking to keep that streak alive here in week number 5. Game still knotted at 0, 3 men wide to the close side, one to the far side. Pistol look. Here's Trotter. He's going to hand it off to Giovanni Reams. His 2nd carry of the game. Nice tackle. But a nice run by number 6, Giovanni Reams. He was spun down by number 8, Josiah Brown. Linebacker's been all over the field so far tonight on defense. So it'll be 2nd down, 4 yards to go. 3rd down, 4 yards to go for Hillsboro. What do you expect here from the Burros, Ben?
Yeah, I would expect a pass here. Either a pass or a run to the outside. I could definitely see a screen here or a rollout designed for Trotter here.
There are 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers like we've seen all game. A 4-3 set from the Knights. Pistol look, handoff right up the middle. They go to old Trusty, and Giovanni Reams is going to be marked down just short of the chains. Caught 3rd and 1.5. 4th and 1.5.
Burros going to stay on the field.
And they are going to keep the Burros on the field. They're going to put the senior Case Freeman into the game for Javarian Bradford. So one more H-back, one less wide receiver. Maybe looking to run the football. Maybe a little bit of something with Deshaun Trotter. He's already had his first carry of the game on this drive.
The Burros need this first. This could be a very influential down in this game. It's going to be a big one.
4th down and 2. They got it in their own territory. Handoff Giovanni Reams once again. Is the ball on the ground? It's going to be Kenwood ball. So regardless whether the ball was out on the fumble or the ball was out on the turnover on downs, it is a turnover, and Kenwood is going to take over in Hillsboro territory on a risky call by Coach Anthony Brown and the Burros coaching staff.
Yeah, that's an interesting call after just getting stopped for about a 2-yard gain there. Maybe he thought he could get 2 more. Kenwood not expecting to run up the middle, but a good play from Kenwood there. Do not take any credit from that defense right there. Great play. We're going to see what they can do on offense.
They got it at the Hillsboro 47-yard line. Jacoby Cox under center. Cox is going to hand this one off up the middle, and they just continue to gash this Hillsboro defense. A nice gain of about 6 for Malcolm Calhoun. And he's had 5 or 6 carries. I would say probably 6 yards per carry on that as well. Very efficient night for the junior running back.
He's definitely seemed like the primary back there. They're definitely trying to get him the ball as much as possible. The Burros need to stop it in anyone bad. They need to stop these runs from happening. The runs open up a lot in the play action game, so they need to stop these runs early.
2nd down and 4. I'll say to get an I formation look from the white jerseys, gold helmets, and black pants. Jacoby Cox under center. He's got 2 men wide on either side of the field. Looks like a blitz coming from Hillsboro here. And there's a flag. Looks like a false start against Kenwood. Could have been a jump snap by Matthew Bean. And it is going to be a false start on the offense. So instead of 2nd down and 4, call it 2nd down and 9. A 5-yard penalty is going to move them back with 2:05 to go in the first.
Bro, they need that. Kenwood cannot stop shooting themselves in the foot here. Burros need a stop, and they need one bad. Second about 9 for Kenwood here. They are going to need to make it 3rd and manageable once again. The Burros hoping to finally end that.
2nd down, 9 yards to go. They got it at the Hillsboro 46-yard line. And there's a referee timeout. Referee timeout. He's waving somebody onto the field. They're going to wave the trainers across the field. So the trainers are going to go to the opposite sideline, maybe check on a Kenwood player on the far sideline, the visiting sideline. So play set to resume. Number 7, Jacoby Cox under center. Malcolm Calhoun seems to be showing some pain in the backfield, but he is going to stay out there. Cox under center. And somebody just jumped the snap. Looks like an encroachment or an offsides against the defense, and they might just give this penalty right back.
Oh. I'm not sure.
So a jump snap, they engaged in a block without even snapping the ball. And indeed, it is a offsides on the defense. So instead of 2nd and 9, it's 2nd and 4. Hillsboro Burros give it right back. And Ben, you just cannot give those back. It looks like a sloppy and sleepy defense from Hillsboro so far.
You cannot. I mean, it's a definition of hurting yourself. You know, you turn the ball over in your own territory, give the ball right back, and these penalties, it really hurts.
I form look for Jacoby Cox, defense chance, coming from the Burros student section on the bottom right. This is a handoff. It's going to be to number 8, Josiah Brown. He powers his way forward. 1st down for Kenwood. And another gashing run play against this Hillsboro defense. Might have to start bringing some pressure, but then every time you bring pressure, somebody's jumping off sides. They get a little bit jumpy. So a very patient offense from Kenwood tonight. They're going to run the ball. They're going to methodically march down the field. They're not looking for big plays from what we've seen so far. And as they move right to left on your radio dial, they just keep on moving.
Yeah, and it's a very old school offense. You know, like we've just seen an FB dive. I mean, it's a very interesting plays right here, but it's working.
Here's another handoff. No, it's going to be a bootleg play action. This one's going to be jumped off to number 8, Josiah Brown. He's going to be shoved out of bounds by number 8, Brendan Bowie, and number 0, Kike Baker. They'll both be accredited half a tackle as they push him out of bounds. But a very well drawn up play. They think you thought they were going to run. They faked a handoff, dropped the pass off into the flat. Excellent play call by Kenwood and a couple of their assistant coach. Their head coach, Jarrett Sneed, looking to get his first win of the season as a new head coach for the Knights.
And, you know, that's exactly what I was saying. These runs up the middle and everything forces the defense to put pressure, to blitz. Maybe the line, and it opens something up in the play action game. You know, maybe the linebackers bite and you get something open in the flats. Perfectly called play and perfect times.
20 seconds to go in the first quarter. It's going to be a handoff. This time, it's going to be number 21, Malcolm Calhoun. It'll be 2nd down and 8 after that short run. And on the stop is number 2, Dom Leonard. Talked to the senior just a couple weeks ago, and he talked about the senior leadership for this team. Him and Kyle Hicks both accredited the success of this year's addition to the team to the senior leadership. And the senior leadership he's shown so far tonight has been very, very helpful as he's had 4 tackles. And as he is down on the field and somebody's going to come to check on him, the end of the first quarter has come to an end. The score's knotted up at 0. And on homecoming night, the Burros are struggling here in John Cohen Stadium. We'll head into the second. Knights 0, Burros 0. You're listening to the Burro Broadcast Network. Welcome back into some Week 5 action. Hillsboro Burros, Kenwood Knights. This game knotted up at 0. And as Kenwood continues to march down the field on the Burros, for just now tuning in, Kenwood's got it on the 20-yard line. Gold helmets, white jerseys, black pants. They'll move left to right against the Burros. And they're old green and golds on homecoming here in John Cohen Stadium. It's going to be a shot from Jacoby Cox in the back of the end zone. Incomplete. The pass is overthrown, intended for the receiver, Christian James. And the 5'11 receiver could not come down with it. Nice coverage from Brendan Bowie.
Yeah, you know, the Kenwood about a yard from the red zone there. They take the shot. They take their shot. It is an interesting idea. It makes you third and about 8. But, you know, you'd love to take a shot. You love as fans to see those happen, but it definitely hurts the Kenwood offense here.
Interested to see if this is going to be field goal range for the sophomore kicker, Jerome Asbury. Jacoby Cox is going to take it out of the gun with the man to his left. First out of the shotgun we've seen so far on this drive. He's going to drop back to pass. He's going to roll out to the left. The big fella throwing across his body, and it's complete. He's got it past the sticks. It's number 1, Cameron Dowell. And a huge first down pickup as Jacoby Cox showing off his arm and his dynamic ability to get out of the pocket and complete a throw. Big pickup for the Knights.
Yeah, and that's huge. That is huge. Puts them about the 8-yard line. They've got 8 to go. I mean, the Kenwood offense has really been moving. They've used the Burros as a source to make these plays open. And Jacoby Cox has really led this team down the field.
Jacoby Cox and the Kenwood Knights have got it at the Hillsboro 7-yard line. What looks to be a tired defensive front from Hillsboro. Kenwood in pretty good condition. Out of the gun. Cox. He's got 4 men wide. It's going to be a pitch in motion to DeCorian Frazier. DeCorian Frazier wrapped up. And Dominic Leonard, who was getting checked on at the end of the first quarter, back out onto the field. Just a couple light cramps. And with 11:01 to go in the second quarter, it's going to be second down and goal for Kenwood.
This Burros defense really relies on these linebackers to make these tackles, and Dominic Leonard is a huge part in that. He's been great all season, and he's definitely keeping it up throughout this game.
Kenwood's got it on the right hash. They move left to right on your radio dial. As for Hillsboro, they're missing a key defensive player, number 17, Andrew Teamer. He's second in the team in tackles per game, and they're missing him out there tonight. Tom Leonard, Case Freeman, and a couple DBs going to be expected to step up. The Davian Moss out there as well. We'll see what kind of impact he can make. This is going to be a handoff to Calhoun. Malcolm Calhoun's dragged down by Case Freeman and company. Case Freeman and the other senior, Kike Baker, in on the stop. Had a nice job swarming to the ball from the Burros defense.
Absolutely. You love to see that as a coach. You love to see players put in that extra hustle, make sure the runner gets down, you know. And it looked like Calhoun was getting some yards after contact there. The Burros did not allow that. Makes it a third and about 7 here. See if they can punch this one in.
Number 18, Joshawn Batts into the game for Hillsboro. He checks in for the senior Case Freeman. The youngster Jaden York now in the game for Glenn Robinson. So to be third down and goal, out of the gun is Jacoby Cox. He's got 4 men wide and a man in the backfield. He's going to motion Calhoun in front of him toward the far sideline. This is going to be thrown in the end zone. Complete. Touchdown, Kenwood. Number 23, Devon Martin, the junior tight end with the catch on the slant route. And Kenwood strikes first here in John Cohen Stadium on what was a 7-minute drive that now has us down to 9:37 to go in the second quarter. Knights up 6, trying to spoil the Burros homecoming, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, this Kenwood offense really puts a dagger in as slow as possible. A great long drive for the offense here, and Hillsboro can't really do much about that one.
The extra point is up, and it is barely good. Sneaks in the bottom left corner to the uprights. And so Kenwood will kick it off with the Burros back to return. But Ben, we talked about it multiple times throughout the drive. It was a very methodical drive, very old school approach to the game so far for Kenwood. And when they're able to get out there and run the play action, they've been successful against this Hillsboro defense. So what is Hillsboro going to have to do heading into the next drive on defense to be able to stop this team and take the lead back?
You know, they're going to need the front to be able to stop some runs. They need to stop those runs, which helps them open up more defensively. You can prevent that passing game. You get into where they for sure passing play. It's a lot easier than those play action plays.
So it'll be Kenwood to kick it off. The Burros will now move right to left on the field after the turn of the quarter. 9:37 to go in the half. Your home team, Hillsboro Burros, trail by 7 points. It'll be the normal returners, Giovanni Reams and Javarian Bradford, back to return. Kicking it off is Jerome Asbury. He barely knocked in the extra point after the touchdown from Kenwood. They'll kick it from their own 40, left to right. This is a deep kick. We saw Pooch kick on the opening kickoff. This is going to be a deep kick returned by Giovanni Reams inside his own 5. He's going to slip down. And great coverage and a very poor decision from the senior Giovanni Reams. As he slips down, the ball's going to be marked at Hillsboro's 10.
That was a very interesting situation. You know, he thought he would let it go, run it, let it trickle out the back of the end zone. It just bounced right back, and he really had to create something with it before he gave up an unfortunate touchdown to Kenwood there.
He touched it a little too early. The ball kept bouncing, and he had to recover it. As the ball kept bouncing, he had to grab it and try and run. There was a couple white jerseys down there, and he just slipped. He was unable to do anything with it. So new running back. We talked about the three-headed monster earlier in the game. Giovanni Reams, a rough drive and a rough return there. Eric Cleves, light green cleats into the game. Deshaun Trotter's going to be under pressure as he rolls out to throw, and that one's overthrown. He was looking for the sophomore Javarian Bradford on about a 15-yard out route to the Hillsboro sideline, and Trotter overthrew him and the defender. So an attempted play-action pass from Deshaun Trotter goes awry, incomplete, 2nd down and 10 from their own 10.
Yeah, and you know, an uncharacteristic first down pass play from the Burros there. You can definitely sense that this Kenwood's offense kind of put some pressure on the Burros here, and they really feel like they have to get something going.
So to be Trotter trying to get this offense going from their own 10, very limited first downs so far from this Hillsboro offensive attack. 2 men wide of the near sideline, 1 man wide of the right. Pistol look, handoff. Eric Cleves has got it. The senior number 9 is going to be dragged down. The main man on the stop, number 42, A.J. Krantz, has himself a reception already in the game that went for 25 yards. Now he's got 2 tackles. So it's going to be an interesting situation here. We got 3rd down and 5 yards to go. They're going to be split between a run decision and a pass decision here. We've seen both so far in the drive, Ben. What are we sensing?
You know, I would sense maybe a screen play here, a bubble pass. I mean, the Burros really have an open playbook here. They need this first, though.
They got 2 men wide to the right of Trotter, 1 man wide to the left. This is going to be a fake handoff. Trotter's going to keep it. Trotter's got some space. Is he going to get to the sticks? Yes, he is. 1st down and a 6-yard run, just enough for Deshaun Trotter. Shook off a tackle, and finally, the big defensive tackle, Jeremiah Graham, was able to hawk him down.
Yeah, you know, I absolutely love that call. Love putting the ball in Trotter's hands on the ground, seeing if they either want to hand it off. Or Trotter is very smart in the running game, and great play call.
Jeremiah Graham, 6'3", 340 pounds, and he was finally able to drag him down. Deshaun Trotter's going to hand this one off to Eric Cleves up the middle for about a 3 or 4 yard gain, so it'll be 2nd down and manageable. Kenwood coming off a record of 3-7 in 2022. They're looking to get 4 wins, or they're looking to get a couple wins this season as they start 0-4. As for Hillsboro, they've already tripled their win total from 2022, a 1-9 team just a year ago. And Coach Anthony Brown's got this team turned around at 3-1 in week 5. Hillsboro looking to get on the board at homecoming here at John Cohen Stadium, and the run play out of the pistol from Eric Cleves goes backward. Ball's going to be marked at the Hillsboro 26. And it's going to be a 3rd down situation from the Burros with 7:49 to go in the 2nd quarter. 7-0 Kenwood, and a very good job by this Knights defense being able to stop the run so far, something that Hillsboro has been unable to do.
Absolutely. And, you know, as I said pregame, Hillsboro needs to be able to figure out the running game here. It is going to be a key part in this offense, and Kenwood's done a great job at stopping that. So Hillsboro's going to have to get something going either in the passing game or figure it out in the rushing game.
So out of the gun, Trotter's got it. He's going to take it out of the gun for the first time on the series. 3 men wide, a fumbled snap. Trotter's going to fall on it. A botched snap between Devin McClendon and Deshaun Trotter, the senior center and quarterback duo. And on trots the oh so dreadful punter, Andrew Thornton.
You know, we've seen that twice today. That is the 2nd time we've seen that.
And it wasn't even a bad snap, just fumbled by Deshaun Trotter. He caught it around his waist, and he would just drop the ball behind him.
It was better to the side. You know, you can see the miscommunication. Both players were not happy with each other. Hillsboro's got to figure it out soon.
So they're going to go ahead and punt it away. As I said, Drew Thornton is onto the field to punt. They're going to have it from their own 16-yard line, try and pin Kenwood deep. This game's going by fast with all the running plays.
Absolutely.
We got 6.5 minutes to go in the half. Back to return for Kenwood is Cameron Dowell. Dowell's going to cut it out toward the left sideline. He's going to evade a tackle, and he's finally tackled down by Dom Leonard, making plays on the defensive side of the ball, special team side of the ball, and now he's going to stay out there for some more defense. But Kenwood, the ball's going to be marked down inside their territory. Pretty good punt by Drew Thornton, but not too far to go. And what could put this Kenwood offense and this Kenwood team up 2 possessions would be a touchdown or a field goal right here.
Yeah, we've seen some interesting dynamic players on the field today. Like we talked about AJ Krantz. He's been everywhere. Frederick Ellis, Dom Leonard. These high school teams love to play the players everywhere. If you're good, you get PT.
Out of the gun, it's Cox. He's had a pretty good game so far. He's going to roll out to his right. He's going to throw. He's going to be complete. Number 9's going to shed a tackle before tripping down. The receiver was Christian James. Tackle was made by the DB, Brendan Bowie. So a nice little sharp curl route is going to make it 2nd down and short. Call it 2nd and 2. A nicely ran route by the sophomore Christian James. Only 5'11", but the 5'9" corner Brendan Bowie just got a little shook, a couple steps behind him, and a nice read by Jacoby Cox.
Yeah, it's about a 10-yard curl on the right side of the field. And Bowie just was not prepared for that at all. Great play call, and Kenwood's offense really has seemed to be making the right decisions at the right time.
This time they're going to hand it off to Calhoun. And the ball's loose. The ball's on the ground. Calhoun fumbles it. Dom Leonard on the recovery. And Dom Leonard, the ball's loose again. This time it's picked up by Kike Baker. Dom Leonard recovered the fumble, dropped the ball. It was picked up by Baker. And finally, Baker went down with the ball. And a clear turnover gets the Hillsboro offense right back to ball. You love to see it in a huge swing play for momentum. In John Cohen Stadium tonight, nice play by Dom Leonard to recover. Looked like it might have been number 18, Joshawn Batts, who knocked the ball loose.
Yeah, Calhoun just fumbled the ball right on the field, and Dom Leonard picked it up, started running to the left, and fumbled it again. Kike Baker picked it back up. That was an interesting play right there. And
it was.
Some of these plays have been weird to call, but once again, who else but Dom Leonard?
Joshawn Batts had an interception earlier on in the season. He gets his 2nd turnover forced as he forces that fumble right there, and a fumbled snap from Trotter. He's going to try and throw it. He's going to try and break a tackle, but he's not. Number 23, Devon Martin, the defensive end who caught for a touchdown pass just a couple minutes ago, is in on the sack. Had another botched snap. That's unacceptable.
This Hillsboro offense has been sloppy. The miscommunication is not good right now. They need something big. They need a spark. That was the spark for the defense. The offense needs a spark huge.
Devin McClendon snaps that ball over to Sean Strotter's head. They're going to pin him way deep. They're going to mark the ball at the Hillsboro 25-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 30 after that miscommunication. Dalton Bush in motion. This one's going to be a tunnel screen to Javarian Bradford. He's going to fight for a couple yards, but that play is going to go for 1 yard. So a screen play trying to slip by this Kenwood defense isn't going to work. It's going to be 3rd down and 19. And, Hillsboro, penalties, snapping the ball over people's head, dumb mistakes, taking the ball out of the end zone when they shouldn't. They've all come back to hurt Hillsboro so far. And an unfortunate 3rd and 19 3rd and 29 on one of the first drives of the game.
Yeah, with about 4 minutes to go in this first half, the Burros really either just need to let this clock run, punt the ball, hold Kenwood, let that clock run out, and I think we need a new half here. Hillsboro, the identity of this half is not what they want, and it really is benefiting Kenwood heavily.
A restart would be nice for Hillsboro. As you said, now we're inside 4 minutes. We got 3:54 to go in the second quarter, and Deshaun Trotter is going to take a very, very poorly timed delay a game that's going to make it 3rd down and 34 yards to go. Kenwood defense has played absolutely phenomenal, has not let up any points to Hillsboro thus far, and a team that's been very solid on offense, putting up 27 against Cane Ridge last week, put up 14 against Stewart's Creek, put up 40 and 40 plus in the first 2 weeks of the season, and their offense has honestly been made to look very poor tonight. Trotter is going to drop back to pass. Trotter's going to go deep. Trotter's got a man. He's got a man. Javarian Bradford inside the 20, inside the 10. And a very, very well drawn up play. Javarian Bradford had a man on skates down the field. Deshaun Trotter found him in a phenomenal play from this Hillsboro offense.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we have a penalty. I mean, that is just absolutely brutal. They find the spark, they find what they need, and once again, dudes, this is some sloppy football from the Burros here, and that was exactly what they needed. Absolutely brutal.
Illegal man downfield was the flag. It was a very well drawn up play from Hillsboro here on the near sideline. They brought a man across the field to confuse the safety. Send Javarian Bradford deep one-on-one with the corner. And Deshaun Trotter threw an absolutely phenomenal ball toward the middle of the field. Javarian Bradford had Christian James on skates, and it was a touchdown that is now called back. So with 3:43 to go, 3rd and 34, Hillsboro working right to left. They're down 7-0. Here's Trotter dropping back. He's going to look to recreate that one. He's going to send this one up deep. Kike Baker. Yes, sir. Kike Baker dragged down at the 35. But you know who it is. And a huge miscommunication from the Kenwood defense. They're not happy with each other. But it was number 1 Cameron Dowell who got cooked down the field by the UAB commit Kike Baker. Caught it right on top of his head. And a great play from the Burros.
I mean, why don't we just go ahead and do that every time? Great ball by Deshaun Trotter. Put it in the one spot where no defender could really intercept it, and really just left it up to Kike Baker there to do his job. And he absolutely did. There's the spark.
I love the play call. Not being conservative, running the ball. We needed the energy back in the stadium. They sure got it. 1st and 10 from the Kenwood 35. And right as I'm talking about momentum, there's a flag down. It's going to be offsides, though. It's going to be offsides on the Kenwood Knights. So that was going to be a brutal penalty, but it is going to go against the Knights. So mark it forward just a couple more yards for Hillsboro. And yeah, as I said, I love the play call there. You didn't run it, trying to get to the half. And honestly, I think anyone else might have 3rd down and 24. Just get the heck out of here, go to the half and restart. But the Hillsboro student section rejuvenated. Hillsboro fans got a little more energy. It looked like the players on the field have kind of calmed down.
Absolutely. And you know, why not? Trotter can get the ball downfield. And these receivers can make those plays.
They continue to move right to left. They've got it at the 30-yard line for a 1st down and 5. Gio Reams is going to run right through a man. 1st down and 10. He's going to keep on churning. As I said, he moved the chains. And a great run play right up the middle. The play calling, they really have mixed it up, Ben. They've done a great job. Pass, run. And as long as you keep this Kenwood defense on their heels, the Burros are much more athletic. We're going to be able to win the game down the stretch. But we need a touchdown here.
Absolutely. And Reams is so electric. I mean, looks like he's shot out of a cannon every time out of the backfield. Straight up the middle, and no one's stopping him.
Here's a handoff to Reams in between the right guard and the right tackle. As you said, Ben, shot out of a cannon once again. This time it's A.J. Krantz making plays for the Kenwood defense. But he's going to take a big chunk out of that 1st down to make it 2nd and 4. If you're just now joining us, the Kenwood Knights have traveled down to John Cohen Stadium to take on Hillsboro in week number 5. The gold and black have the lead 7-0 over the Burros, but Hillsboro is marching. 2nd down and 5 inside Kenwood territory, and there's a flag down. It's going to go against Kenwood. So another offsides. It looks like they just lined up on the right side of the ball. It was a D-tackle, Jeremiah Graham, getting a little jumpy. And if that doesn't move the chains, it's going to make it 2nd down and very short.
Once again, and you know, that 1st and 5 really opens up a lot for this Burros offense. And they've been moving the ball well this drive. They need a touchdown here. You score. 1:54 left to go. You score. You get the ball after half. I mean, the lead can change very quick here.
So to be 1st down and 10, they move the chains. The yard marker to gain is around the 3-yard line. Hillsboro's got it at the Kenwood 13, moving right to left. Green and gold home unis from Hillsboro tonight. Out of the pistol, Deshaun Trotter hands it off. Gio Reams is going to try and run it off the right tackle. He does so successfully. Number 21, Malcolm Calhoun, in on the stop. And a nice play from Gio Reams. And this 3-man backfield has really been super successful. Eric Cleaves, I know he was in the game when there was a little bit of a stall out on offense, but he's very shifty, able to get to the 2nd level. Gio Reams shoots out of a cannon. Marcel Burnett is your power guy. Wouldn't be too surprised to see him as we get down near the goal line. So it'll be 2nd down inside the 10 somewhere. It'll be number 21, Malcolm Calhoun, limping off the field. Clock will be stopped with 1:06 to go in the half.
once again, another penalty. Offsides, it's been, I think, 3 straight downs. I mean, not downs, but first down plays. There's been 3 of them. So the Kenwood Knights are playing a very interesting style here. The Burros are close.
So it'll be 2nd down and 1, but basically 2nd down and goal. It'll be 2nd down and 1 from the 4-yard line. Trotter out of the pistol. He's going to hand this one off. Gio Reams, yes, sir. Hillsboro has found the end zone. Hillsboro is on the board. Your Burros score 6 for the first time tonight, and they'll try and tie it up with Andrew Thornton's extra point. A phenomenal run play from Gio Reams. And the first touchdown of the night for Hillsboro. Much needed score with 50 seconds to go before the half.
Absolutely huge. I mean, that is exactly what this Burros offense needed. They need to get something going, and going into half with a 7-7 ball game is I would say is very solid here.
So the extra point is up. The extra point is good by number 80, Andrew Thornton, who's yet to miss an extra point so far. So the Knights have tied it up here at John Cohen Stadium. 7-7 with the Hillsboro Burros. Only 50 seconds remain in the first half. We'll see if this Hillsboro defense can hold the game at a tie ball game. And with 50 seconds to go, we'll step away. You're listening to the Burro Broadcast Network. Hillsboro 7, Kenwood 7. 50 seconds to go in the first half. So Hillsboro, if you're just joining us, has tied the game up at 7 with 50 seconds to go in the first half. Hillsboro will kick it off right to left. Kenwood Knights offense will work left to right. They'll try and get something shaken. Game tied up at 7 in a very low-scoring, scrappy affair. A squib kick is going to be received up the right sideline and immediately ran out of bounds by number 13, Chris Ebanks.
Yeah, he went to nothing to that. I mean, he slowly jogged himself out of bounds here. 47 to go. The Burros are just trying to keep a stand here. Let Kenwood run the clock out and go into half with the tie game here.
Hillsboro has been said tied up 7-7 at the half, searching for their first non-metro win of the season. Had an opportunity 2 weeks back right here in John Cohen Stadium and lost by 14 to the Smyrna visiting Stewart's Creek Redhawks. Kenwood Knights still searching for the first win of the season. It looks like they might sling it 4 men wide. Out of the gun is Jacoby Cox. Man to his left. It's number 8, Josiah Brown. Out of the gun, Cox takes it, rolls to the far sideline. Cox has got a man. It's complete to number 4. DeCorian Frazier caught it and got hit immediately by Sorrell Burton and the two-sport athlete making plays on the football field.
Yeah, Burton, I mean, he had no idea that was coming, and Burton laid the boom. What a great tackle. It's setting up a 2nd and 9. Kenwood, Burros keep that up, going to half. Great play by Sorrell Burton.
DeCorian Frazier, a smaller running back, got it swung out into the flat and turned around and saw the helmet and pads of Sorrell Burton right there in his legs. And with 37.7 seconds to go, as you said, Ben, 2nd down, 7 yards to go. Game knotted up at 7, but what's the play from Kenwood here? Obviously not an offense that's geared to go up high speed, no huddle offense. Do they try and score, put some points on the board, or they just run this out, go with their gritty style, take it into half tied up? Because honestly, tied at halftime in a homecoming situation for them is a win.
Absolutely. And, basing off of what they did on first down, they might try to go for it. After that play, we could definitely see them calm down. But, I mean, empty backfield, they're definitely looking to pass here.
Yeah. It's Jacorian Cox out of the gun. He's going to take it. He's going to throw it deep down the near sideline. He's got a man incomplete. He had a man open. It was Christian James. Already has 2 receptions on the night, but Jacoby Cox could not find him. Nice coverage down the field from number 8, Brendan Bowie. So it'll be third down, 7 yards to go for this Kenwood offense. A very, very testy shot down the field from the Kenwood offensive coordinator and offensive staff. Third down and 7. I mean, the worst thing you can do is just give Hillsboro the ball back in a situation where you got a very, very strong-footed left-footed kicker and Andrew Thornton, who, if you give him the ball in the right situation, could knock in a deep field goal.
Yeah, and it wasn't a bad ball at all, but going into it, I would say they run the ball here going to half. I would not expect them to want to give the Burros the ball back right here.
This has got to be a false start all over the place. Jeremiah Graham at right tackle seemed to jump a little bit prematurely.
False start.
Yeah, it's going to be a false start against the offense. Go ahead and walk this one back 5 more yards. So instead of third down and 7, it'll be third down and 12 with half a minute to go in the half. Kenwood Knights moving right to left. Gold helmets, white jerseys, black pants. It'll be Jacoby Cox out of the gun, man to his left. He's going to take the snap. He's going to look to pass. He's going to roll out right. He's under pressure from the Hillsboro defense. Matthew Bean chased him. He's going to tuck it and run. Joshawn Batts was in pursuit of the quarterback, and he knocked him out of bounds. It's going to be a very close call if he was able to pick up that first. And it looks like he's going to be marked right inside the line to gain. The line to gain was the Kenwood 40-yard line. And the refs are going to go ahead and nod him. They're going to move the chains for Kenwood. So a very nifty play by number 7, Jacoby Cox. And the 6'6" QB, he's hard to bring down in space. And he knew it. Took off for a first down to 24 seconds to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, on their own 40, they might go with another shot here. You got a whole new set of downs. We're going to see what they do.
Out of the gun. Jacoby Cox drops back to pass. He's got 2 Burros after him. He's going to throw this one across the middle of the field, and it's caught. What a catch. Number 23, Devon Martin, catches it just short of the chains, and a timeout from Kenwood. So they call a very timely timeout. Devon Martin was unable to get out of bounds, but Jacoby Cox, Devon Martin have connected twice, once for a touchdown, and he's the go-to guy in stressful situation, it looks like. 13 seconds left in the second quarter.
And, with 13 to go, I mean, they seem like they're willing to take these shots. You might expect another one. Getting down the field and doing something really here is not likely with 13 seconds, but I could definitely see Kenwood taking some shots.
A deep shot may be what's necessary. We've seen the arm from Jacoby Cox, very strong. He was unable to connect on a deep ball earlier intended for Christian James, but nonetheless, we've seen the arm strength out of the young man, maybe trying to match what we saw from Deshaun Trotter and Kike Baker, that connection when the Burros had the ball on offense. But with 13 seconds left, 1 timeout left for the Knights, if I'm not mistaken. So they could, maybe set up a pass across the middle and then call a timeout and take that shot down the field.
Yeah, if Mahomes can do it, Kenwood can do it. So we'll see what they do here. I mean, like you were saying, we talked about this old school style, and I think right once we did start saying that, both teams have been willing to swing the ball around, and Kenwood's keeping it up.
Second down, 2 yards to go. See what Greg Abner and the Hillsboro defense draws up. Here's Cox rolling to his left. Cox has got a man again. Devon Martin and Hillsboro can't stop the pass, it seems. A timeout from Kenwood once again, this time with 6 seconds to go. And maybe this time I called it. Complete the pass inbounds, the go-to guy, Devon Martin, and then maybe take a shot at the end zone to end off the second quarter and the first half with a bang.
Yeah, 6 seconds is an interesting time on the clock. They might be able to get 2 shots off. Expect 1 definitely, and I think they're definitely going for the end zone.
As I said, Jacoby Cox has shown that arm strength. He's shown a connection with number 9, Christian James, down the field. Although Brendan Bowie, a guy who's been pretty solid in coverage all night long, he's on the shorter side, only 5'9", has been able to cover some of the taller receivers for the Knights tonight. Bowie just now coming off a official visit at Lindsey Wilson College, the NAIA level, coming back off a college visit, always a good feeling. Hillsboro alumni Isaiah Bell, the edge. We're missing him. He was a very big game changer for the Burros last year down at Lindsey Wilson College. They have a few more collegiate players on the defensive side of the ball for Hillsboro. We'll see if they can get a much-needed stop here. First down and 10. Cox is going to drop back to pass. They're going to send everyone to the end zone. They're going to throw this one to number 1, Cameron Dowell, and a very well-executed out route to number 1, Cameron Dowell, because with 1.1 seconds to go, as Kenwood moves left to right, they're going to have an opportunity at the end zone.
Yeah, very, very well executed. About a 15-yard out route. catch the ball, get out of bounds, and it's a much more doable. Oh, they're going for the field goal.
They're going to go for the field goal. So it'll be Jerome Asbury on to kick for Kenwood. It's going to be a very deep field goal, about a 37, 38-yarder, and there's a flag. Interested to see who they call this one on. The clock did not start. And it's going to look like a false start against the Kenwood Knights.
Ball has not been moved.
This is a huge kick from Jerome Asbury. If he's able to knock this one in and give the Kenwood Knights a one-possession lead going into the second half, and Kenwood gets the ball coming out of the half as they kicked it off to start the game.
Yeah, the refs didn't even seem to move the ball, but we're going to see what Asbury can do here.
So it'll be Asbury on to kick. Number 9, Christian James on to hold. This one is going to be kicked. This one's going to be entirely too short. And a faint attempt at a field goal is going to be no good for the Kenwood Knights as they hustle into the locker room to end off the first half. Your Burros 7, the Kenwood Knights 7, homecoming here at John Cohen Stadium on a beautiful Week 5 night of high school football. It's the Burrow Broadcast Network. We'll be back with second half action. Your Burros knotted up at 7. Kenwood, Hillsboro, and a tight one.
Chant for the color guards. Let your flags fly from your fan club. To the marching band. Keep up the great work, ladies. And to the front ensemble from Allie and Ray Lopez, your section leader rocks, and we love how hard y'all are working.
Immediately, people send it to him, and you wrap it up.
Sounds good. Action is back at John Cohen Stadium. We're back from the halftime break. If you're just now joining us, we appreciate it. It's the Burrow Broadcast Network live from Nashville, Tennessee, where the Hillsboro Burros are in a dogfight with the visiting Kenwood Knights. It is 7-7. We got 12 minutes on the clock for the third quarter, and it was an interesting first half, man.
Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, Kenwood has definitely stepped up and rose to the occasion here. They have definitely needed to play well on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball, and they have done that. They're going to need to continue to run the ball, make those play action plays open, and defense just continue to keep it up.
They started to air the ball out a little bit more with the junior quarterback, Jacoby Cox, so I'm interested to see if they do that the same or if they start running the ball just a little bit more. It'll be Kenwood back to return. They kicked the ball off to start the game, so they received the ball to start the second quarter here. Back to return is number 21, Malcolm Calhoun. We've seen a lot from him tonight, alongside this junior, number 1, Cameron Zowell. So to be Ben Ruiz on the kick, the other kicker for Hillsboro. Usually when he's on the kick, it's a squib or a pooch or something along those lines. Interested to see if they do the same thing here.
The short lasers is what his specialty is.
Sure.
Which can open a lot of things, but it also does give the other team good field position. You know, maybe a fumble happens, loses the football, but field position is at stake.
So Ben Ruiz on to kick, 12 minutes to go, 7-7. Kenwood will be moving right to left when they get on the offensive side of the ball, and Ruiz actually kicks it pretty far into the open gap on the left side of the field, fielded by Cameron Dowell. Dowell's going to catch, he's going to make a couple juke moves, he's free off to the left side, and then he's slung down. No, he's not. He breaks the tackle, and finally, Eric Cleaves brings him down inside nice territory at the Kenwood 23. It was the sophomore Braden Hightower who tried to sling him down. And finally, Eric Cleaves was able to make a fundamental tackle on him. And honestly, not a terrible return, but pretty good coverage from the Burros.
Not at all. And Dow just wouldn't go down. You know, he kept on going, went across the whole field. But the Burros finally bring him down. They used a gang tackle to bring down the Knights here. And like I just said, that it was risking field position. It absolutely did not risk field position at all. Ruiz kicks that one down, starting to put the ball about the 27-yard line.
So it'll be first down and 10 from the Hillsboro 24-yard line. 11:50 to go in the third quarter, 7-7. Kenwood will move right to left. I formation from the Knights. Here's Jacoby Cox. He's going to hand this one off to Calhoun. And some halftime adjustments were made. The Burros in on the stop. Bunch of green jerseys led by number 72, Dwayne Washington. Ben, great job stopping the run. If they can continue to do that this quarter, this half, they got this game in the bag.
Yeah, exactly. Stopping the run would be key for this defense. It really does limit Kenwood's offense if that does happen. Not as much stuff is open, you know, force them to pass the ball. Burrow's starting off well.
There is a Kenwood Knight down on the field. A white jersey is laying at about their own 25-yard line. So as we try and find this number, find out who it is, and as the trainers tend to him at the 25-yard line, we'll step away. Burrow Broadcast Network, Hillsboro 7, Kenwood 7. 11 and a half minutes to go in the third. So we return to action here at John Cohen Stadium. Looked like a pretty unfortunate injury. It was number 21, Malcolm Calhoun, has seen his fair share of action tonight. So we wish him the best in his recovery. For all Knight fans listening, it was number 21, Malcolm Calhoun. This is going to be a jet sweep end around to Cameron Dowell. He'll be tackled down just short of the chains. It'll be third down and manageable for Kenwood, but a pretty good open field tackle. And checking into the game for Hillsboro's number 62, Jaden York.
Yeah, you know, Cameron Dowell is as well down on the field right now. But touching back on that Malcolm Calhoun injury, that is brutal for this Kenwood team. You feel terrible for the kid. He's been showing signs of injury all game, and it finally got to him. But absolutely terrible. He's a key part in this Kenwood offense, and as well as Cameron Dowell, who is also down on the field right now.
So it'll be third down, and they're going to call it a couple yards to go. Chain gang is yet to change. It looks like it's going to be third down and about 6 yards to go. So it'll be third down and 6. As you said, Cameron Dowell is down on the field. The 5'7" junior holding his ankle. And Ben, you mentioned Malcolm Calhoun's injury, and he seemed to be injured just about all game. He's getting checked out on the bench right now. Seems to be in immense pain, and it looks like he may be down for the game. And a couple times this season, we've seen some key players for opposing teams go down. Wyatt Lorraine back in week 1, and now Malcolm Calhoun. We'll see how it impacts Kenwood's offense. It'll be a shotgun look for Jacoby Cox out of the gun, split backfield. 2 men to the other side of this field. Looks like some confusion in the backfield now. Number 8, Josiah Brown, is the new running back. That's going to be a delay of game. So the new running back, Josiah Brown, right as I was talking about the impact it may have without Malcolm Calhoun back there, delay of game instantly. And instead of a delay of game, they're actually going to get a timeout off. Very, very aware coaching by the head coach, Jarrett Sneed. But there is 10:44 to go, third down and 5. If you're Kenwood now, obviously Malcolm Calhoun and what seems to be Cameron Dowell may be unavailable for this drive. You know, what's the play on offense? If you're Kenwood, obviously the runs worked all right in the first half. You got a very dynamic quarterback in Jacoby Cox. How do you go about this third down and 5 if you're Coach Sneed and the Kenwood Knights?
Yeah, and with Calhoun and Dowell down, the running game seems to be an interesting option here. I would definitely be intrigued to see it maybe something to the outside as well as maybe a play action pass. Get Cox on the run, see what he can do. Kenwood has a lot open here, though.
Indeed, they do. It'll be third down and 5, 10:44 to go in the third quarter. Game knotted up at 7. It's been a low-scoring, very tight affair so far. 0-4 Knights, 3-1 Burros right here in Nashville. Kenwood moving right to left. Gold helmets, white jerseys, black pants. Cox out of the gun. He's going to take it. He's going to roll left. He's going to come back toward the middle, and we've got it wrapped up. He's short of the chains. Yes, sir. Tom Leonard, Dwayne Washington, a dynamic senior duo in on the stop. And it's going to be an interesting situation arising for the Kenwood offense. Do they punt? Do they go for it? Deep inside their own territory at their own 29, Ben, it looks like they're keeping the O out on the field.
No, I mean, correction for you. The punt team is out on the field. Interesting play call. You try to get Cox moving, and Dominic Leonard is having absolutely zero of that. Great play by the girls to stop that short.
So on to punt is the do-it-all man, number 3, Frederick Ellis. Defense chance from the student section and the home crowd here at John Cohen Stadium. That punt was it was tipped, and it still got down inside the Hillsboro 40-yard line. Going to be marked down at the 39, touchdown by number 16, Demazian Brown. So after Brown touches it down, not a bad punt from Frederick Ellis. It was tipped at the line for the Burros. Offensively, they look to take the lead. They've got really good field position at their own 39, and a defense that may be missing a few key pieces and players who play two sides of the ball, and Malcolm Calhoun and Cameron Dowell. We'll see if the Burros can execute.
Yeah, they get quality field position at their own 40, and just trying to build off of what they ended the second half or the first half with. The Burros could definitely use the momentum here and put one in the end zone.
So it'll be first down and 10, 9:49 to go from their own 39. Left to right go the Burros. Trotter's going to throw. Trotter's going to have Kyle Hicks. Yes, sir. He's hit pretty hard by number 3, Frederick Ellis. Still inside Hillsboro territory around the 48. Hicks takes that hit like a man, gets chopped down around the 48. So it'll be second down, 2 or 3 yards to go. But a nicely drawn up play. A little taste of their own medicine for the Kenwood defense. Fakes the handoff, flips it in the flat to Kyle Hicks. Big boy had some space.
Yeah, a big guy like Kyle Hicks, you got to go for the legs there. And Frederick Ellis did a good job of that. However, great play by the Burros. Make it second and second and short.
Out of the pistol, H-back, 3 men wide in total. This one's going to be handed off to Eric Cleaves. Very patient in the backfield, and it pays off. He's going to go ahead and what seems to be move the chains for the Hillsboro offense. Ball's marked down at the 50 exactly. And they're going to go ahead and move the chains. A signal is moving the chains down the field. So the first down line to gain will be the Kenwood 40-yard line. We're trying to get inside Knights territory, but it will be first down and 10. Very good, patient run by Eric Cleaves with 8:55 to go in the third.
Yeah, he had a lot of time there. I mean, he was just sitting there in the backfield just waiting for something to open. Finally open on the left side, just pushed his way for 2 yards right there.
2 men out wide to the right. Javarian Bradford and Josh Cartmel here on the near sideline. Tyke Baker isolated all by his own on the left side.
Whistle.
There's a whistle and confusion. Markel Ham is going to be taken out of the game. He had a chin strap unbuckled, so they send him out, and now Jaden York will be checked in. So Markel Ham comes out of the game with a chin strap undone. Why the refs wouldn't just tell him to strap it up on the field is beyond me. But now out of the gun, it'll be Trotter. No yards lost. First and 10 from the 50. Moving right to left on your radio dial. Green jerseys, yellow pants for the Burros. Fake handoff.
Oh, man.
Trotter is nailed. Trotter going deep. Yes, sir.
Wow.
What a play. Right on the head of Cameron Dowell. And a huge first down for Tyke Baker. Unbelievable effort. An unbelievable effort from Deshaun Trotter to get that ball off. Great pressure from the Knights. Got that ball off, and Tyke Baker made a play.
Absolutely. And that's the go-to man right there. What a play by Tyke Baker. All Trotter has to do is throw that one up, and Tyke will do the job there. What a play.
So first down and 10. The chains are moved. They're inside the red zone at the Kenwood 17. It's a 4-3 look once again from Kenwood. Out of the gun is Hillsboro. This time it's a handoff to Cleaves. Going to have space inside the 10, inside the 5, inside of the end zone. Touchdown, Hillsboro. Touchdown, Eric Cleaves. A second rushing touchdown of the game for the Burros. And they take a 1-possession lead.
They're figuring it out. And you know what has really opened this team has been these deep shots that they've taken. Trotter's been able to use his arm and these great receivers to come up with these one-on-one balls. And it's opened up the run game as well that we said is going to be huge in this game. Hillsboro, great start to the second half. And they're hoping to keep that one up.
That's why Tyke Baker is just such a key player, right?
Absolutely.
You don't want to take players out of the secondary to drop in that box. But then we have a 3-headed monster at running back who, if you don't drop people in the box, is going to execute. So it'll be a 14-7 lead. The extra point was good by the senior Andrew Thornton. So with 7:56 to go, the Hillsboros take back their lead on homecoming night, week 5 of some high school football. Hillsboro 14, Kenwood 7. We'll step away quickly. You're listening to the Borough Broadcast Network. So on to kick the ball off is the senior number 43, Ben Ruiz. We were talking about his ability to kick that low line drive and maybe force a fumble, and he kicked it deep. And what ended up being a solid return for Kenwood. See what he'll do here. Definitely a different foot, right foot instead of that left foot of Andrew Thornton. 7:56 to go. We'll take it from his own 40 and kick it to the right side of the field. This is a short kind of pooch kick to number 13, Chris Ebanks, and he's going to have some room, and he's taken down. He's hit pretty hard by a couple different Burros on the far sideline. Nice hit from the Hillsboro special teams. And it'll set Kenwood up for a first down and 10 around their own 35 as they move right to left. Ben, we've seen a lot of different stuff so far from Kenwood. It's hard to kind of get a read on. Are they trying to pass? Are they trying to grind us down with the run? You would think with 7:51 to go in the third, they're going to have to start putting some points up. Interested to see what they do on this drive.
Absolutely. And you know, they need to get something going. It is going to be key for this team. Maybe you have to get the run game going, which opens up more in the play-action game. The run game without William Calhoun is going to be something difficult to do. Malcolm Calhoun, excuse me. It's going to be something difficult to do, but they have to get it in.
Out of the gun, it's going to be a handoff. This time to number 3, Frederick Ellis. and they had no problem getting involved with the run game. He talks a little bit of smack as he gets up to the 50-yard line. Sorrell Burton in on the tackle on that one, and we're talking about the run game. They had no problem involving Frederick Ellis. So a no-huddle look now from Kenwood. The change crew having a little problems keeping up line to gain at the Hillsboro 40. This is going to be a handoff. Very patient running from Frederick Ellis. He's going to bounce it out to the outside. A tackler misses a tackle, and finally Brendan Bowie and a couple other Burros push him down. Heike Baker may have had him wrapped up for only 1 or 2 yards, but 2 different Burros had to drag him down. Frederick Ellis, very nice run. Looked to be stopped up in the backfield, bounced it out left. Now it's 2nd and 4.
Yeah, and so far this drive has been very patient. He's had 2 runs, and he's taken them both for quality gains. So Frederick Ellis, we talked about Malcolm Mahone missing out. Frederick Ellis has stepped up, and he's taking that role on head on.
So the flag down on the play. Not sure what it is. They're going to pick the flag up. It's going to be a sideline warning on Kenwood and the Burros. They're going to go ahead and scoop both teams back, make sure the sidelines are in check. So no penalty flag yardage there, but it'll be 2nd down and 4. Kenwood's got it at the Hillsboro 43. They move right to left. Ball's marked on the left hash, closest to us here in the press box. Out of the gun, 2-man backfield. Directly to his left is number 8, Josiah Brown. In the backfield with him is Ellis. Bell Myers has got some pressure on him. Marcel Burnett might have had him. Cox completes a pass and it's picked off. Is it caught? It's incomplete. What a play, though, from Heike Baker. Comes down. I jumped the gun. It looked like he might have picked that one off. Hits right off his chest and falls down incomplete. So it'll be 3rd down. Huge 3rd down for the Kenwood offense. Huge 3rd down for the Hillsboro defense. And both teams are not trying to budge with 6:46 to go in the 3rd.
Yeah, Baker, he committed on that one, went full force, jumped, laid fully out, and that one was in his arms. Great play by Baker to just smack the ball down, don't let anything happen. But there is a stoppage on the field.
Multiple stoppages from the referee and the umpire of tonight's games. Interested to see what they call on this one. Greg Abner has some thoughts for it on the near sideline. Looks like he may win it against the Kenwood offense. Obviously, his defense has held this team to 7. He had a TNFCA All-Assistant Coach of the Week award back in week number 2 of the season after 2 great defensive performances against Overton and McGavick, respectfully. So he's interested to see what's going down with his defense on the field, and so are we.
Yeah, and this Burros team, the defense has been absolutely great besides the Stewart's Creek loss. 7-7-7, 28 in the Stewart's Creek loss is rough, but the running game for them was really going 7 once again against Cambridge and only 7 tonight. So very stout, very bend don't break defense, but it's working out very well.
Defense has been very good, and the quarterbacks so far that we have seen have not really slung the ball around like we've seen from Jacoby Cox tonight for Kenwood. He's been able to get in space. He's been able to show off that arm, which is something I'm interested to see how the Hillsboro DBs respond, because when we get into region play against Nolensville High School, Page High School, all these bigger Williamson County schools, they're definitely going to be slinging the ball around. So a little bit of a tune-up game for Hillsboro. They're going to have to get checked in, try and get this stop, and there's still a stoppage of play. Everyone's just standing around with a 3rd down and 4 for Kenwood pending. It could be something following the sideline warnings. 3 referees talking to the head coach, Jarrett Sneed of Kenwood on the far sideline. Seems confusion. They just talked to Coach Anthony Brown and executive principal of the Hillsboro Burros High School, Mr. Andrew Pelham.
We seem to have gathered it pretty easy. I don't know what's happening with Kenwood here, but it seems like Frederick Ellis is having to be taken off the field.
So Ellis comes out of the game. He drops his helmet on the sideline. He doesn't seem too happy. Decorian Frazier, the running back and cornerback, is going to check in for Kenwood. We're not really going to get a very clear explanation of what's going on here, but it is going to be 3rd down and 3 yards to go. Could have been an equipment malfunction from number 3, Frederick Ellis. But it's going to be Jacoby Cox out of the gun. He's going to fake the handoff. He's going to throw across the middle. And a missed throw is going to come up clutch for the Hillsboro defense. Right across the face of multiple DBs is Christian James, open for the slant. But Jacoby Cox could not hit him.
And there was potential on that slant pass. Cox kind of sailed it into the ground. And as we see on the field here, the Kenwood offense is staying on the field. 4th and 4. They're going to try and get this one.
So they're going to stay on the field. It'll be 4th down, 4 yards to go. Defense chance coming from John Cohen Stadium. Energy is definitely here with 6:36 to go in the third. The home team Burros leading by 7. Dropping back. Cox rolling out. He's got a man. Incomplete. He caught it, went down to the ground, and it popped out of his hands. He had it past the chains, and it was the backup running back to Corian Frazier who almost made a very clutch play on this drive for Kenwood. So a turnover on downs will make it 1st down and 10 for Hillsboro. They'll have it at their own 43-yard line. And this is great field possession. Great start. And after a very, very, very good drive, very electric drive from Hillsboro last time out, offense looking good. Confidence has to be up.
Absolutely. And coming into a half that's 7-7, you're coming out of it and going out there, scoring, getting stopped, getting the ball again. Great job by Hillsboro, and it seems they can put some more points on the board.
Here's Strotter out of the gun. He's going to fake the handoff, though. A quick route across the middle, caught by Kike Baker, and he hangs on to it through a big hit by Cameron Zowell, who's checked back in the game for Kenwood, nursing an injury, but they are inside Kenwood territory at the 49. So 14-7, 6:15 to go in the third. 2nd down and 2 for Hillsboro. Ball at the Kenwood 49. They move right to left. Green and gold jerseys and pants for Hillsboro. White and black with some gold piping for the Kenwood defense. Here's a handoff. It's going to be Gio Reams. He's going to bounce off a right tackle. He's going to come back inside. And the electric running back is inside the Kenwood 35 before he's dragged down by number 11, Darrell Moore. The 5'9 safety finally brings down the running back. But a great run, lightning in a bottle for the senior running back, Gio Reams.
One excellent cut. We saw him come to the right side of the field, get to the edge, and what an excellent cut back to the middle. Reams, no one was bringing him down there.
So 1st down and 10. Great move of the sticks by the Hillsboro offense out of the gun. Gio Reams was left 3 men wide. Fakes the handoff, throws across the middle once again. In and out of the hands of the sophomore receiver, Javarian Bradford. He had number 16, Demazian Brown, trailing on his hip. And Demazian Brown actually laid out for that ball. And if Bradford would have come down with it, he probably would have had a nice little trot into the end zone. But unfortunately for the Hillsboro offense, it's 2nd and 10. Clock is stopped with 5:32 to go in the third.
Yeah, and it's an interesting play by Hillsboro. They seem to incorporate those slants more. We saw it with Kike Baker. They're trying to get these receivers in open ground in the middle of the field. That one, there was something getting, but unfortunately dropped.
Kicks in motion across the formation for Hillsboro. Pistol look. Handoff for Gio Reams. He's got some space up the middle of the field. He's going to take on a big hit. He's going to stay on his feet. He's going on the right sideline. He's going to turn it back toward the middle. He's inside the 5, inside the 3, marked down at the 2, and Gio Reams. A big play for this Hillsboro offense. Some phenomenal blocking, a great run, and a 1st and goal for the green and gold.
Are you kidding me? Gio Reams, what a play. He was not going down, took a man on in the middle of the field, just took him head on and just stayed up, broke it back out to the edge, and Hillsboro's in the red zone now.
Took a man head on around the 10, stayed up, bounced it to the right side. It was finally dragged down around the 2. It's going to be a wildcat look for Marcel Burnett.
Goodness.
And that was no chance. Burros find the end zone. Your Hillsboro Burros 20, the visiting Kenwood Knights 7. And Marcel Burnett has a wildcat carry for the 3rd rushing touchdown of the night for Hillsboro.
Burnett's in the end zone, giving the 2 small celebration. There was just no stopping that man. He gets a full side in steam, and I fear for anyone in his way.
Took on 2 different white jerseys to get himself into the end zone. Just a lot of pride coming from this Hillsboro backfield. Each one of them has a touchdown tonight. Gio Reams scored earlier on in the game. Cleve scored the 2nd touchdown, and Marcel Burnett just went ahead and punched in the 3rd touchdown of the night for Hillsboro. All 3 of them getting some of the sugar, and Andrew Thornton gets some as well. He scored 3 points tonight, and all of them coming on PATs. He knocks that one in, and it's your Hillsboro Burros 21, the Kenwood Knights 7. Hillsboro going to plan on homecoming night. You're listening to the Burrow Broadcast Network. Hillsboro 2-possession lead. The Burros have a commanding 2-possession lead with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. It's the Burro Broadcast Network live from homecoming night at John Cohen Stadium, an electric scene, and only 68 degrees out now with dark skies, little wind, and this one's going to be fumbled and it's going to roll out of bounds. Number 13, Chris Ebanks, was back to return the kick for Kenwood, and he hit his hands and just rolled straight out of bounds, no harm. And so the Hillsboro defense is going to trot out onto the field trying to get back-to-back stops.
Yeah, these Kenwood Knights down 14 currently. They need to get something going. Having Malcolm Calhoun out, maybe Frederick Ellis is back on the field. They need to get something going and get something going fast. For their slow-paced offense is going to be key to score on this possession. If they don't, it'll make it very hard on themselves.
So it'll be first down and 10. We're inside 5 minutes to go in the third. 4:58. Burros lead 21-7. Ball moving right to left in the hands of the Kenwood offense. Only 7 points tonight. It was by a pass of Jacoby Cox to the tight end, Devon Martin. This time it's going to be a keeper for Jacoby Cox. Glenn Robinson sets the outside. He's going to throw this one deep. And it was wildly incomplete. Just chucks it away. I guess you could say the intended receiver was DeCorian Frazier. He was the closest man. Questionably out of the tackle box there for Jacoby Cox, but no intentional grounding. Called second down and 10. Kenwood's got it from their own 18.
Well, it wasn't that far off from DeCorian Frazier. It was an interesting ball. He just chucked that one up. Frazier was open, but I don't think that's how they wrote that one up.
Yeah. So now Kenwood will step back into the shotgun. The man joining him in the backfield is Josiah Brown. 2 men to the near sideline, 1 man out wide to the right. Cox is going to go ahead and spin out of a tackle for loss and somehow get that ball off. Intended receiver was number 9, Christian James. And that was a masterful play from Jacoby Cox. He just couldn't complete the pass.
He's doing his best to find his receivers here. We've seen him throw off his back foot, throw with 4 guys trying to bring him to the ground. He's doing whatever he can.
Might not get as much help as he needs from this Kenwood offensive line. Although this defensive line from Hillsboro has been intimidating so far. So a 3-man front now from Hillsboro. They're going to try and protect the chains on third down and 10. Kenwood from their own 18. Shotgun look, 2 men wide to the right. Cox takes a snap, 3-step drop, looking, trying to evade pressure. He does. He's going to pump fake. He's going to get out to the sideline. He steps out of bounds. He does step out of bounds short of the chains, although he ran and got to the chains. He stepped out a little bit too early, and it'll be fourth down and a couple yards to go.
Yeah, the Hillsboro defender kind of had to deal with the unfortunate tackle that didn't even count, but it will be fourth down and 10. Cox apparently stepped out very close to the marker there, and they are bringing out the punt team.
Yeah, just unable to tiptoe down that sideline. And with 4:39 to go in the third, Kenwood's going to go ahead and punt this one away. So it'll be number 28, Jerome Asbury, to punt it deep for Kenwood. He's catching it inside his own 10-yard line in a very, very good punt, almost blocked from Hillsboro. Bradford's going to receive it inside the 50. He's going to make a man miss. He's going to go back inside his own territory, and he's slung down. A bad mistake from Javarian Bradford. He's wrapped up by Jacarius McGregor. And the man they call JB unable to make a good return on that one. So it'll be first down and 10 for Hillsboro. We'll take a quick break. Burro Broadcast Network, Hillsboro. So after a flag on the play, knocked Hillsboro back 10 yards. Coming out of the break, it'll be Hillsboro first and 10 from their own 30. 4:28 to go in the third, 21-7. Your Hillsboro Burros have the lead. Here's Trotter rolling out. He's got Cartmel at the 30. He's going to make a man miss up past the 35. Then he's dragged down at the 37 where he's marked down, bringing up a second down and about 8 yards to go. Man on the tackle for Kenwood was Darrell Moore. He's gotten a few more snaps after number 21, Malcolm Calhoun, went out just a bit earlier. So it'll be second down, 2 yards to go. Second down, 2 yards to go for Hillsboro. Out of the shotgun is Trotter. They're on the far hash. That's the left hash. They're moving left to right. Out of the gun, Trotter hands it off. He's got Eric Cleaves. Cleaves has got some space. Inside the 45, inside the Kenwood 43, around the 42, maybe the 41-yard line. And number 9, Eric Cleaves, is going to move the chains for the Hillsboro offense. So the first down sets Hillsboro up inside Kenwood territory at the Knights 42. Your Burros still hold a 14-point lead with 3.5 minutes to go in the third. Couple good run plays have set Hillsboro up inside Kenwood territory. Out of the gun, man to his left, it's Trotter. Takes a snap, hands it off again, Cleaves again. Very good run inside the 35, right down around the 30. Darrell Moore and Devon Martin combined on the stop for the Knights, and they're just gashing this Kenwood defense with the run, is Hillsboro. The senior number 9, Eric Cleaves, doing a great job. Already seen him run for a touchdown earlier in the game. So out of the gun is Trotter, man to his right. Receiver to the far sideline is Cartmel. Bradford in the slot, and it's Kike Baker on the far left sideline. We've seen him make a couple huge plays tonight. Another handoff, a misdirection to Cleaves. Cleaves inside the 25, inside the 20, and he's tripped up around the 16-yard line by number 16, Demacian Brown. The cornerback for Kenwood makes a big play to stop a touchdown, what seemed like, up the right sideline.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Burros from about the 16-yard line. There's about 2:30 to go here in the third quarter. It'll be Trotter in the gun with Eric Cleaves to his right. Trotter will take the snap. He will fake the handoff, pass to Josh Carmel outside on the slant, and it was just not there. Carmel was a bit behind the ball, or a bit in front of the ball. Trotter kind of misses him there. So 2nd and 10 for the Burros. They'll be trying to punch this one in to make it 28-7. Coming off a 7-7 ball game out of half, the Burros are trying to put up 21 unanswered points and earn themselves a bigger lead. It'll be Trotter in the gun once again. Cleaves to his right. 2 men out right, 1 out left, and Kike Baker. Trotter will take the snap, hand off to Eric Cleaves up the middle. Cleaves will take it in for the end zone. Touchdown, Burros. Eric Cleaves found the hole, ran it straight up the middle, ran a man over, and punched it into the end zone. And the Burros, 20 unanswered points. What a play. This Burros O-line has really stepped up. Coming out of half, they definitely got it talking. And this running game has really proved to be a quality running game. It'll be Drew Thornton. On the kick. Trotter will hold. And Thornton will boot it right through the middle to make it a 28-7 ball game. Burros. 2:14 left to go in the third quarter. This is the Burros Broadcast Network. We'll be right back after this break. From the break,
Hillsboro's got a 28-7 lead after a run play found the end zone, courtesy to Mr. Cleaves. Looked like a fair catch at the 10. They're going to not give it to him, and he's going to go ahead and take this one out. There's a flag flying down. Number 7, Eric Thomas, got a little physical on the far sideline, and that, I think, is what the flag's going to be on. Not a bad return from Kenwood's Cameron Dowell.
Play.
Yeah, there was something going on that left side of the field. I mean, Eric Thomas and the Knights defender or returner was just they were going at it, and it is a holding call on Hillsboro, which will move the Knights further into a better field position, starting with the ball around the 33-yard line.
So the ball will be
37.
The ball will be marked at the Kenwood 37-yard line. They'll start with a first down and 10. They'll continue to move right to left as it's been a very, very lengthy third quarter with the offensive success of Hillsboro. A 3-possession lead against Kenwood. Kenwood looking further and further into their 0-5 history. I guess I should say future that may be upon them.
Hopefully.
Out of the gun. Jacoby Cox takes the snap, drops back, looking across the middle for the pass play, and that is not even close. Number 9, Christian James, was the intended receiver. A slant route from the far sideline to the near one, and Jacoby Cox couldn't find him. It's just this Kenwood offense looks a little out of rhythm from what we saw out of him at the back half of the first half.
No, and we've said it multiple times. They need the run game for this offense to work. So when that is not working, it is very hard for Jacoby Cox to step up into that role and for these receivers to just make constant plays. The run game has to be a key part in this offense, and down 28-7, it really you're not in the best spot right here.
So under center is Jacoby Cox. They're going to go back to that pitch play to number 4 to Corian Frazier. Frazier breaks a tackle, and he is going to be smoked. Couple different Burros in on the tackle, led by number 2, Dom Leonard, and number 14, Michael Bennett Jr., the transfer from Father Ryan High School. He was nursing injuries for the first couple weeks of the season, but he's been back the past 2 or 3 games. There's a flag down on the field. Looking for the judgment on this one. Could be a hold against Kenwood. And it's going to be a personal foul against Kenwood. A face mask upon the offensive line of the white jerseys is going to move Kenwood backward. So as soon as they started driving, they got that pitch play going again. They're going to shoot themselves in the foot, move back. Ball's going to be marked at the Kenwood 22, maybe 23-yard line.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just something that you just cannot have happen. It is a second and holy smokes is what it is. Kenwood needs that they need to get the passing game going, and it just cannot. You do have some time left, 1:40 to go in the third, but you need to get going and getting going fast.
Second down, 26 yards to go, 5 wide. Looks like they're going to try and pick this up passing. They do send Frazier in motion in the backfield. He's going to cut it out wide to the right, and no, he's not. Dom Leonard in on the stop. He's not letting Frazier get outside of him, and that might even be for a loss. So it's going to be third down and about 25 yards to go here on this one. They sent Frazier in motion behind the quarterback, pitched it out to him on the far sideline, and he was taken down immediately. Great play from Dom Leonard, and the 4-3 look we've seen all game from Hillsboro.
Yeah, and once again, Kenwood's trying to get to the edges. They run the ball to the edges a bunch, but these Hillsboro linebackers are now stepping up. Dom Leonard is not letting any man get through him right now, and he's playing out of his mind.
We're inside a minute to go in the third quarter. Kenwood continues to move right to left, but they do trail 28-7 here at John Cohen Stadium.
Sideline warning, Hillsboro.
So a sideline warning has been issued to the Hillsboro Burros. One was issued to Kenwood earlier on, and now one has been issued to Hillsboro and the green and gold jerseys to stay off the sidelines. Try and stay more toward their bench. Regardless, though, it'll be third down and 28 for a struggling Kenwood offense. They'll have 3 men wide to the left, the near sideline here. They're going to send Corian Frazier in motion to the backfield once again. I form under center. Cox fakes the handoff. Cox rolls out to the right. Cox makes a move toward the middle, throws. It is complete. He bobbles the catch, but he's way short of the sticks. And he might have got back to the original line of scrimmage. And not a bad play. The reception was number 23, Devon Martin, one of Jacoby Cox's favorite targets. He bobbled that one all the way down to the ground. He did have possession, though.
Yeah, and if it's not 3rd and 28, it's a great play for that Kenwood offense. They just cannot figure it out. They're killing themselves. That's a great play right there. It's just unfortunate that it's 3rd and 28.
So it'll be 4th and 14. On to punt will be Jerome Asbury. Back to return will be Javarian Bradford. Here's the punt from Asbury. It's a duck rolling inside Hillsboro territory at the 39. It's going to be caught. Moving left to right is Bradford. Bradford's going to stiff arm and be taken down inside Kenwood territory around the Knights' 43-yard line. And Hillsboro is going to be set up for pretty good success on this next offensive drive.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, it was 1.2 to go left in the third quarter, up 28-7. This run game that's continued to be great in the second half is going to continue to do its job. They're going to continue to run the ball. And this is exactly what the Burros want to do. Clearly in the first half, Kenwood kind of figured that out. Burros have figured it out in the second half.
They have. It's 28-7, as you said. Only 1 second to go here in the third quarter. I would assume Hillsboro is just going to go ahead and run this clock out. Jaden York, the sophomore, running onto the field late as the right tackle. Out of the gun is Trotter. He's going to just take this one, hand it off to the big fella, Marcel Burnett. He's going to have some room. He's going to make a few men miss. He's going to take a few men along for the ride. But during that run, the clock has expired for the third quarter. So Hillsboro will remain on offense. They'll have it around the Kenwood 37-yard line. And before we take a break, it's Hillsboro 28, Kenwood 7, 12 minutes to go in the ball game. A big lead for your Burros. It's the Burro Broadcast Network. So as the action returns, we return. Burro Broadcast Network, Hillsboro, back moving on offense. They're going to start off with a screenplay to the far sideline. Number 12, Javarian Bradford, his first reception of the game. One of the better return men in Metro, has himself a reception around the sticks. It was a screenplay. Some nice run after catch yards, though, from the sophomore. So it'll be 3rd down and 1. Hillsboro now moving right to left on your radio dial. They switch places with Kenwood, and they are inside Kenwood territory around the Knights 34. Kenwood now trailing 28-7. Hillsboro looking to make it 35-7. 11 and a half minutes to go in this ball game. This is a handoff to Marcel Burnett. He's going to bounce it out to the left side. He is going to nasty stiff arm inside the 20, inside the 10, inside the 5, inside the end zone. Touchdown, Marcel Burnett. Touchdown, Hillsboro Burros. And the Burros strike big to start the third quarter. A 34-7 commanding lead over the visiting Kenwood Knights. And just an absolutely phenomenal run, a misdirection from the senior Marcel Burnett. Gets out to the left sideline, a couple stiff arms, and he breaks away. A phenomenal run down the left sideline. His second rushing TD of the game, the 4th rushing TD of the game for the Hillsboro offense. So now on to kick is number 80, Andrew Thornton. The lefty's going to bang it through, and Hillsboro has taken themselves a 35-7 lead over the Kenwood Knights. Will step away with 11-17 to go in the 4th. Hillsboro 35, Kenwood 7. A big lead at homecoming for Hillsboro. So it'll be Ben Ruiz on to kick it away following a 37-yard touchdown run from the senior Marcel Burnett, and a commanding 35-7 lead deep into this game. Early into the fourth quarter, though, 11-17 to go. Ben Ruiz to kick it away for Hillsboro. He's going to step into this one and kick it to the near sideline. It's going to be returned by number 12, Darrell Moore, and he's going to immediately step out of bounds. Excuse me. That was number 13, Chris Ebanks, on the return. And so it'll be Jacoby Cox. It'll be this Kenwood offense that struggled so much in the second half to get points on the board. What was once a 7-7 game at the half, we might get to see some JV players or some guys with less opportunities on the field in the second half. A 28-point lead for Hillsboro.
Yeah, and you cannot make any better adjustments than this Burros team. They came out here, only scored 7 points in the first half, and came out and have scored 28 so far. And it does not seem like they're stopping anytime soon. So great play by the Burros. Great adjustments at halftime by Coach Anthony Brown. They're trying to keep it up.
So it'll be Kenwood out of the I formation, 2 men wide. It'll be Frazier, and it'll be Brown in the backfield with Jacoby Cox. It's going to be a delay of game against Kenwood. So they would have started at their own 20. Instead, they're going to start at their own 15. And they're going to be moving left to right, trying to put some points on the board and cut this to just a 3-score instead of a 4-score game. So play resumes. Out of the I form is Jacoby Cox. Takes a snap, fakes the handoff. Looking deep down the far sideline. He's got a man in coverage. It's thrown up and it's knocked away. Cameron Dowell, the junior receiver, was covered up by Sorrell Burton. And that play went absolutely nowhere. Nice throw by Jacoby Cox, but just unable to come down with it. Nice coverage by Sorrell.
Yeah, and we've seen Sorrell Burton everywhere on the field today. Seen him great in the running game. He's laid some big hits on the Kenwood offense right here. And that was a great play in the passing game. Way to break up the pass. He's done his job, and he's been a guy that stepped up for the Burros on defense here this year.
It'll be 2nd down and 15. Knights in gold helmets, white jerseys, and black pants from their own 15. They get a 2nd down and long. It's going to be a fullback dive. It's going to be handed off to number 8, Josiah Brown. We've seen him in the run game just a little bit. But a nifty fullback dive is going to go ahead and give him a couple yards. Make it 3rd down and manageable. I would say probably 3rd down and 6 or 7.
Kenwood really needs a score here. 3rd and 8, they need a score. I would most likely see them go for it here. So it is 2-down territory, but they need to score bad. You're down 28 to a team that does not look like they're slowing down anytime soon. A score is going to be huge for this Kenwood.
When a turnover on downs this deep into Kenwood territory, we could potentially see the backup quarterback Trey Hodges enter the game for Hillsboro, trying to keep everybody healthy heading into next week. And this one's going to be kicked back. A fumble recovered. It's going to be recovered deep inside Kenwood territory. And a crazy turn of events for this Hillsboro defense. They get a huge turnover and give their offense prime field position to try and punch it in on the Knights. Jacoby Cox had the ball snapped over his head, and he continued to just kick it further and further inside his own territory, trying to recover the fumble, but it did not work. And the Hillsboro offense trotting back out onto the field.
And what I love about that one is Glenn Robinson. You've seen these D linemen try to scoop up and score. He jumped on the ball, did exactly what anyone has asked of him, and puts the offense in great field position.
So it'll be Hillsboro trying to punch it in from what looks to be the 3-yard line of Kenwood. It'll be a wildcat look with Gio Reams, the man taking the snap. The 5'8" running back, and he punches it in. The 5th rushing touchdown of the night for Hillsboro. The 2nd rushing touchdown of the night for the senior Gio Reams. In a big rushing game for Hillsboro as they find Patered with 10:19 to go in the 4th.
Absolutely. I mean, and what I love is that we both said at the start of the game, this rushing game is going to be huge. This RB trio has combined for all 7 touchdowns so far. I mean, all 6 touchdowns so far, excuse me. They are absolutely dealing, and Hillsboro is not stopping.
So it'll be Trotter to hold, Thornton to kick, trying to make this game 42-7 with 10:19 to go in the 4th. So here's Trotter, the hold. The kick is up. The kick is good. And Mr. Automatic has yet to miss an extra point so far in the 2023 campaign. So it'll be Hillsboro 42, Kenwood 7, 10:19 to go in the 4th. A big homecoming night lead for your Hillsboro Burros, and the visiting Knights not liking their stay. We'll hit the break. You're listening to the Burro Broadcast Network. The Burrow Broadcast Network returns to action here in John Cohen Stadium, home of the 2003-2008 football state champions. This 2023 team looking really promising. They hold a 35-point lead over the visiting Kenwood Knights, making a trip down from Clarksville. Ben Ruiz was to kick it off. There's flags down everywhere, and it's going to be offsides against the kicking team. So someone lined up offside, maybe a few younger guys in the game with the blowout going on.
Yep.
And a pretty irritating mistake if you're head coach Anthony Brown taking a shot on some younger guys. And that's going to result in a 5-yard penalty for Hillsboro. So instead of the 40, they're going to go ahead and kick it off from NFL range at their own 35.
It'll push him back a little bit. Ben Ruiz has been actually doing great in these kickoff scenarios right here. You're up 35. Get these guys some action. Mistakes happen. That's why they're playing right now. Getting these guys involved early, and hopefully they show out.
So Ruiz will go ahead and kick it off again. He's going to take his 3 steps and try and boot this one away. Deep man back to return is Cameron Dowell. They're going to go ahead and squib this one on the ground. It was fumbled, picked up by Frazier. Frazier's going to make a spin move, and a nasty move is going to get him taken down by Michael Bennett Jr. around the Kenwood 42-yard line as their offense will come onto the field and move left to right, try and at least salvage what could be salvageable from a blowout loss tonight in Nashville.
Yeah, that was a great spin move by Frazier. I mean, that thing was clean. It was pure. And the RBs for Kenwood have been a bright spot for them today. It's just been an unfortunate day.
So the starting defense does seem to stay on the field for Hillsboro, and they look to get one more stop as we're closing in on the 9-minute mark to go in the game. Only 9.5 minutes to go. Burros 42, Kenwood Knights 7. Out of the gun. Fake handoff to Frazier, and the handoff is going to go to number 32, Leslie Sutphin. The freshman running back getting some carries tonight. Seems to be a little out of reach for Kenwood, so they're going to give the ball to the freshman. Not a bad carry, and it's going to be 2nd down, 7 yards to go.
This Kenwood offense, it has had a rough day. They started off great. We were like, okay, Jacoby Cox is leading this team well. It's slowed down. The running game has stopped working, and the play action hasn't opened as much. The Burrow defense definitely figured it out.
This is going to be a handoff. This time it goes to number 4, DeCorian Frazier, and he's going to be wrapped up. Michael Bennett Jr. fired up after that stop. And it just seems to be no hope for this Kenwood offense as they're taken down on a 2nd down, making it 3rd down and probably about 8 or 9 yards to go.
And it does not matter what level of linebackers Hillsboro has out in the field. They are playing excellent football right now. And making it a 3rd and long, this Kenwood offense has not been able to get much going.
So out of the gun, it'll be DeCorian Cox. He's going to send a man in motion. It's Christian James. He's going to get the jet sweep. He's going to try and make a man miss. He won't do it. So it'll be Case Freeman and Zom Leonard, the senior linebacking duo, in on that stop. And 4th down, they're going to have it at their own 47-yard line. And you would have to think they're going to go for this one, trying to just salvage some of this game, and they're going to actually punt it.
Yeah, I mean, that really is the white flag there. Hillsboro, you would say Hillsboro has been decent enough to run the clock off. When they try to run the clock off, they break off these big runs. But the game, I think the clock will be running short here. And Kike Baker out to return. It's interesting. Up 35 and your best player still out there returning the football. We'll see what happens.
Could be an electric return. A fabulous punt by Jerome Asbury. And this one is marked inside Hillsboro territory around the 10. A fabulous punt. And maybe the one time that he's able to get some decent blocking on his punt, he boots it pretty deep. And a nice play from the punter, and we'll see who they put on offense. And it is going to be the backups. They're going to go ahead and throw the 2nd-string offense out onto the field. And you definitely love to see it if you're a Burrow fan. A huge 42-7 lead right here in John Cohen Stadium with only 7 minutes to go. Sophomore quarterback, 2-sport athlete, Trey Hodges out on the field. He's a backup quarterback. He's a quarterback of the future. Definitely want to get him some reps.
Absolutely. And it always is good, like you said, to get these guys these reps, get these guys these action. Trey Hodges is a guy they're looking for a lot from, and we'll see what he can do.
There's going to be a handoff to the sophomore, Braden Hightower. He's wrapped up for little to none on that run play. Just a simple halfback dive goes nowhere.
Number 22.
Pretty big
Marcel
offensive line
Burnett
still
with
up
the
front.
run.
Jaden York, Roger Ligon, Porter Wilhite, and Caleb Bell Myers all checked into the game for Hillsboro. So now out of the gun, it'll be Hodges. In the backfield alongside him, he's got his fellow sophomore Braden Hightower. Only 6'12" and ticking to go in the fourth. Hillsboro moving right to left, leading by a bunch. Out of the gun. Hodges takes it, and there's whistles down from both sides of the field. And Coach Anthony Brown's going to go ahead and use his first time out of the second half. Didn't like what he saw, so will step away. Hillsboro 42, Kenwood 7, 6 minutes to go in the fourth. Your Burros winning big. You're listening to the Burro Broadcast Network. Welcome back into the Burro Broadcast Network. For just now joining us, you've joined at a good time. Hillsboro with the commanding lead over Kenwood 42-7. Backups have checked in the game for Hillsboro, and Trey Hodges is going to carry that one for a loss of about 2 or 3 yards. The backup QB getting some action. And as Hillsboro tries to move down the field, it's going to be 3rd down and long right off the bat.
Yeah, trying to get Trey Hodges involved in the ground game. He has great legs. He's great with his legs. He also has a little arm to him. We might be able to see him swing it out here.
He is a baseball player, plays outfield on the Hillsboro Burros baseball team. So he's definitely got himself an arm. We'll see if they try and air it out on 3rd down and long. I know the crowd here that's left during this blowout would go absolutely ballistic for the players out on the field right now. So out of the gun, Trey Hodges got a man to his left. He's got 3 men wide, and the refs continue to be buzzkills in tonight's game. This time, though, it is going to be a timeout, and it's going to be Coach Anthony Brown. He does not seem happy.
I don't know what he's
definitely trying to get these players ready for the future, right? I mean, definitely
Absolutely.
want to have them in the right situations, want to have them in the right lineups, and etc. If you don't have them there, it's definitely frustrating. But for Hillsboro, they're up 42-7. They've got this win in the bag. They moved to 4-1, back-to-back wins. Went into Antioch last week and beat an MPS rival in Cane Ridge by 20. Stay at home, and right now what looks to be a 35-point win against Kenwood. They got lost next week right here. First region game of the season against a new high school. That's going to be a huge test game for Hillsboro. Another Metro game, but I'm interested to see what they can do.
absolutely. And Lawson will be very hyped for this game. Hillsboro's schedule upcoming is a very difficult one. They've got Lawson, they've got Page, and they've got Nolansville. Some great teams involved in there, and I think we'll be up for calling some good matchups.
Not to mention Centennial High School on the other side of that bye week for the Burros in the final game of the season at Centennial in Cool Springs. So out of the gun is Trey Hodges. He's just going to go ahead and fumble the snap. This one is down on the ground, and it's going to be a Kenwood player who falls on it. So a fumbled snap between Braden Hightower and Trey Hodges resulting in a extra possession for Kenwood and very favorable field possession, probably the 2-yard line. So Kenwood will take it at the Hillsboro 2, try and make a little bit of something out of nothing with 4:43 to go in the fourth quarter, and they're going to keep their starting offense out on the field. The Knights are.
And, for an already heated Anthony Brown, that just kindles the flame there. These backups, I really hope we do get to see more of them in the future. Games in the future, it seems like a lot of starters will be out there. But Kenwood will punch the ball in, and is it a ball game?
Number 7, Jacoby Cox, go ahead, runs it in for a touchdown. So it'll be 42-13, 4:21 to go. Interested to see who they put back out onto the field after that botched possession that they had there. I mean, 2 timeouts, couple miscommunications, a fumbled snap that results in a touchdown for for Kenwood. And although it may not seem like a big deal, the pride of just blowing someone out and only giving up 7 points is certainly there for the Hillsboro coaching staff. So on to kick this one through, it'll be Jerome Asbury. That kick is up and it sneaks through over the bottom post. And so the extra point is good. So a new score here in John Cohen Stadium. The Burrow lead is cut to 28. Hillsboro 42, Kenwood 14, 4:21 to go. You're listening to the Burrow Broadcast Network, Blowout in Nashville. So after a garbage time touchdown from the Kenwood Knights and Jacoby Cox, it'll be Jerome Asbury to go ahead and boot this one away for Kenwood. Back to return is the normal return tandem between Javarian Bradford and Gio Reams.
The hands team is out on the field for Hillsboro, expecting an onside kick here.
They are going to make sure there is no onside kick. Josh Cartmel back deep now. Gio Reams is going to go ahead and move up. Kenwood kicking this one left to right. Asbury's going to run up. He's going to boot this one on an onside to the far sideline of Marcel Burnett. The big fella is going to fall on it, make sure nothing happens. And with 4:18 to go, and a 28-point lead, Hillsboro is going to move right to left, try and punch this one in. Trey Hodges trying to get redemption after a botched last drive.
And, barring any fumbles or anything, I would expect Hillsboro to be able to run out this clock. Hopefully they can get a first down out of these backups here and end this game off right.
A couple first downs certainly would seal the deal. Hopefully you win this drive in victory formation and the defense doesn't have to come back out onto the field. Don't want to bar any injuries. So out of the gun, it's Trey Hodges. He takes the snap, hands it off to Hightower. Hightower's going to have some running space. And he's going to get a nice push there at the end to make it 2nd down and 7. Trey Hodges to Braden Hightower. That could be a duo that next year we're going to see a lot. 2 sophomores. Obviously, that entire backfield for Hillsboro is going to graduate next year, and that's all 6 of our touchdowns tonight. So interested to see what these two can do late in the game.
Absolutely. And like you talked about in the interviews, these leaderships, the seniors on this team, Coach Brown is trying to build these guys into leaders, and eventually their senior year, hopefully the team is making a run as well.
Trey Hodges is going to hand this one off to Braden Hightower. He's going to shake free of a tackle. Finally, number 15 from Kenwood, Nicholas Shanklin, is going to take him down. Braden Hightower with the carry, but there is going to be a flag down. This one could be going back for Hillsboro. Could be a holding against the offense.
Illegal formation.
So it's going to be an illegal formation from Hillsboro. It looks like a little bit of a miscommunication from the youngsters down on the field for the Burros. And they continue to shoot themselves in the foot. And now the ball is going to be marked inside Hillsboro territory at their own 48. 3:37 to go in the game. Burros do have their backups in the game as they lead 42-14 over the visiting Kenwood Knights.
Hillsboro, let's get a first down.
So it'll be 3rd down and 11. The sophomore Trey Hodges out of the gun, joined by Braden Hightower. 2 men wide to the right, 1 man wide to the left. It's the senior Dalton Bush. Out of the gun, Hodges takes the snap, hands this one off to Braden Hightower to the left side of the field. And there's multiple different white and black jerseys in on the stop. Forward progress will be stopped for Hillsboro. And they may just try and keep their offense out on the field, burn some more clock.
Another run by Braden Hightower.
Yeah,
It'll be 4th down, about 9 yards to go. They've got it from their own 49. And Drew Thornton's going to go ahead and trot onto the field to punt this one away for Hillsboro.
Yeah, by the time this one gets off, it'll be about 2:30 left to go in the game. Kenwood, I'm not sure if they'll try to go for some or they just run out the clock and go ahead and go home. But overall, excellent game by the Hillsboro Burros.
Definitely a pride thing for this Hillsboro defense, as they do not want to allow 3 scores. 42-14 looks a lot better than 42-21, and that's certainly the type of game it has been tonight. Drew Thornton's punt is going to go through the end zone and almost tried to kick back, but he punts it from his own 40 through the end of the end zone, so a very good punt by Andrew Thornton. So on trots some of the youngsters for this Hillsboro defense, couple guys on the backup line of defense.
Again.
And as you said, Ben, only 2:21 to go here in the game.
Go your transportation.
We mentioned it earlier, but Hillsboro, they're going to head into a game next week against James Lawson where they're going to be fired up. They head into region play. They've got Page, they've got Nolansville, they've got Glencliff and Centennial, all region games to end off the season. They're at 4 wins, barring a win here with 2:21, and they're up by 28. You would certainly think so. But a 4-1 start is a lot better than anything we've seen from Coach Anthony Brown, and would top his past career high of win totals in a Hillsboro Burros coaching jacket. Here's Jacoby Cox. He's going to air this one out down the left sideline. That one's going to be incomplete. Dominic Hammer and a couple other Burros in coverage. He was looking for Cameron Dowell, and he was triple coverage. He was triple covered. A little bit of a forced throw there.
Yeah, and like you said, this Lawson football team coming up next week, they are 3-1, barring the result tonight against Spring Hill at home. We will see what they do. It'll be a good matchup. Both teams will be over 500, and it'll be a good district matchup. We'll see who the better team is.
Stands have cleared here at John Cohen Stadium as the Burros do have this one squared away. 42-14, 2:15 to go. Kenwood's got it from their own 20 on a 2nd down and 10. Out of the gun is Cox. He's going to go ahead and take this one up the middle on a quarterback power where he trips up and is going to be marked short. 3rd down and probably 4 yards to go. Probably would have had the 1st down. It was number 7, Jacoby Cox. He just tripped up and falls short of the chains. But been a very, very powerful win for Hillsboro. And not only did they squeak out this victory at home, it was a homecoming game. It was a team that they knew they could beat. They give Kenwood their 5th loss of the season, and it's in convincing fashion. It's in convincing fashion. You got to love what Hillsboro did tonight. And it's a phenomenal win from Hillsboro tonight in blowout fashion.
Absolutely.
That's a false start. So they get a little jumpy there with number 77, Jeremiah Graham, which to his credit, he has been playing both sides of the football. He's got to be playing a little bit tired out there, but it will be 3rd down and longer than expected after the big number 77 jump. Jeremiah Graham, we haven't mentioned him tonight, haven't had much of an impact. But Jeremiah Graham, 6'3", 340 pounds, plays on both sides of the football. And although he wasn't very active tonight, maybe a key piece for Kenwood down the stretch. And a timeout called by Coach Anthony Brown, and Hillsboro didn't like what they saw on defense.
Yeah, 1:35 to go in the game. Kenwood, they are still trying to get something going, clearly. Jacoby Cox is still on the field. They still want to get him the ball. And maybe it's probably as well a pride thing for Kenwood. Put some more points on the board. But this Burros team, coming out of half, it's a 7-7 ball game. It's a tie ball game. I love the adjustments that they made. They scored 35 points unanswered. Excellent ball from the Burros here.
It sure was, and obviously if you keep that starting offense out on the field the past couple of possessions, they don't even score that 2nd touchdown of the game for them because they got it at the 1-yard line. It was an easy trot in for Jacoby Cox. But play resumes, 3rd down and 9. Cox out of the gun from his own 20. He's going to drop back. He's going to air this one out deep over the head of everybody. Number 5, Zion Puckett in coverage of number 9 from Kenwood, Christian James. So to bring up a 4th down way over the head of Christian James by Jacoby Cox, and then it looks like Kenwood's going to keep their offense out on the field.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Go for something.
4th and 9.
Never mind, it looks like they will be punting the ball. So pretty sure that one will do it. They punt the ball. Burros will take a few knees and head into victory formation to get the win.
They are going to go ahead and punt this one away. It's going to be Jerome Asbury who's going to punt it. He had a very good punt last time around. Booted it very deep into Hillsboro territory. Back to return for the Burros is number 12, Javarian Bradford. He's going to field this one on a knuckleball inside Kenwood territory at the 48. So a very, very weak punt there from Asbury. And with 1:24 to go in the 4th, it looks like Trey Hodges and company might just need this one out.
Of course. And this really exemplifies this Burros team. Like we've talked about it all game. The run game was there. It finally got going. And man, did it roll. Burros are playing some victory music here. They're excited. Hodges in the gun, so not the victory formation. They'll probably run the ball a few times. Get out of here. We'll see what Trey Hodges can do.
Couple different receivers have checked in, including junior Xander Bowman. Out of the gun, this one's going to be handed off. Trey Hodges and company are going to go nowhere. 2nd down and 10 after the run play from the Burros. So that'll be 2nd down and 10. Closing in on a minute to play, 1:05 and ticking. Hillsboro, a huge victory here at home. If you're just now joining or rejoining, Hillsboro's ran away with this ball game. Mentioned it multiple times, but it was 7-7 at half. Hillsboro scored 35 unanswered, and now we've got a score of 42-14 right here at John Cohen Stadium. Man, it was beautiful football weather all night long.
Absolutely.
And a beautiful sight here at John Cohen Stadium and a Hillsboro victory.
There is that man you were talking about. Jeremiah Graham absolutely rips through the guards, and there was no stopping that man. 340 pounds, just absolutely tosses the Burros there, and I guess that's a good way for the Kenwood defense to end off the game.
It was a defensive end who swooped in and ran right by Porter Wilhite at that guard spot, and Jeremiah Graham just throws him to the side. But as we're closing in on 10 seconds to go, both teams run to the sideline. Both teams going to close it up. And your Hillsboro Burros have got themselves their 4th win of the 2023 football season. Mr. Clay, a convincing one here at home on homecoming, 42-14. Burros over Knights. Safe to say, the Knights of Kenwood did not enjoy their stay on a trip down from Clarksville.
Absolutely. Great adjustments by the Burros here. Great game from Anthony Brown. And this Burros team looking up going into next week in the loss or at Lawson.
Yeah, a region game right here against James Lawson. A huge game. Obviously, they're still barring the result in Bellevue against Spring Hill, which will ultimately be one of the biggest results, as both teams could come in 4-1 and make for a very good matchup. So again, your Hillsboro Burros 42, the visiting Kenwood Knights 14. The Knights with an empty-handed bus ride back home to Clarksville. This has been the Burro Broadcast Network. For Ben Clay, I am Drew Hull. Burros, a big home win as they move to 4-1. Thank you for listening.